showing up just for a second. Didn't announce this one at all. Didn't plan to. This is not a planned mail drop or anything. This is just for fun. So, yeah. Just going to sit here and play around. If some people show up to chat and talk and hang out, we'll be doing that. Everybody kept talking about doing lives earlier today, and I've yet to see anything since Greyhound won this morning. So, Mountain Mix back, baby. I got nothing else going on, and I just got home, so I want to play around with some stuff. At any rate, if nobody shows up, that'll be okay too. I didn't announce it. It's just for fun. So if you're popping in, hang out if you want. Have a good time. We'll do what we can. What's up, Delbert? I just got back to the house and I was bored. So I decided I was going to play around with these berserkers a little more and pick on some stuff and see what's up with you guys. It's not a planned live. I don't have any new mail or anything. I would have announced it and let everybody know a little while earlier if I was doing anything like that. Cool. You got the rest of the dog legs ordered today, huh? Well, I'm a really big fan of the ones I have. I'll probably pick around with them in a minute too. I've decided that in the future I will do some lives like this impromptu every once in a while, just to see who wants to hang out and pop up. And I may keep some of them and put them on the channel, and I may just delete them afterward and leave no trace of the fun we had. Of course, I'll be still keeping the lock mails and the ones that are planned, but the ones that I just do impromptu like this, I won't add all of them to the channel. It'll just start taking up stuff for no reason. Yeah, they are nice to do. Sometimes it's nice to have a surprise. What, Dad?
LSU and Clemson played tonight.
Football?
Yeah.
Cool. College football that's actual football. I'm into that idea. What's up, everybody? I just got back to the house. Just playing around a little bit. Didn't have anything planned. I just wanted to hang out and see what you guys were up to. Like I was telling Delbert, I will probably do some impromptu live stuff here and there. And maybe not even keep the footage of all of it. It's just fun to get on here and hang out with you guys sometimes. Naturally, I will keep the ones that are planned for mail drop or anything like that. But when we're just hanging out and stuff, and I don't have a real point of being here, I won't be showing that off later for any big purpose reasons. I just wanted to get in here and hang out and give everybody who wanted to chill a place to jump in the chat and kick it. I enjoy hanging out in the Greyhound lives and the Lady Locks lives. Turns out it's okay just to go on and have a good time with your friends without having a big lesson plan or anything pre-laid out. So this is what this one is. I just wanted to have a little fun with my friends. So I didn't announce it. I didn't plan it. I just showed up to hang out with you guys. Still getting a feel for these little mini locks. Alright, Sushi, no problem. Like I said, buddy, we're just hanging out. I don't have anything huge planned for tonight. This is just an impromptu live session I'm going to start doing a little bit of here and there. And as I said, I may not even keep some of these as far as adding them to the long-term channel stuff. It's just so we can all hang out and have a good time whenever nothing else is going on. I figured it was a holiday weekend and it was a Friday night, and I just wanted to give some people who are just getting home somewhere to pop in and hang out if they wanted to. Because I didn't have anything planned massively for the weekend. I think me and Papa Mick are going to watch a little football later. He said that the LSU and Clemson game is tonight, and I love some college football because they actually play to win, not for money. That's always more about pride and rivalry, and that's something I really dig. So, Exactly. The fans are better too, says Papa Mick, and I totally agree. The fans are hardcore. The band is there. I like listening to the bands play their music and stuff, the fight songs and whatnot. So I dig that. But yeah, Sushi, you can hang out as long as you want, buddy. You can listen at work. You can pop in and out at your leisure, sir. That is exactly what this is here for. So I'm glad you were able to join us. Delbert says he has ordered the rest of the dog legs for himself to enjoy, and I am stoked for him there because I am mighty happy to be the owner of the ones he sent me. And we were all hanging out in Greyhounds Live. I missed Delbert's live last night because I was so tired from the one I was doing, hanging out in here with him and G Key Man. And I took G Key Man's advice and took my butt on to bed shortly after. Totally blanked out. Forgot that Delbert was getting ready to do his night watch. So I'm glad me and Delbert are getting to hang out now. And I talked to Labs a little bit too, Delbert. If you still want to jump in and out with us and whatnot, I'll be happy to come over. I'll cut this thing off or jump in with you, or you can get Labs on there with you, and I'll chill with you guys in the chat or whatever you guys want to do, man.
Penn State's number 2.
Yeah.
Halftime, they're ahead of Nevada 46-11.
Oh, wow, that's a blowout.
Halftime.
That's a blowout.
They're number 2.
46-11. Yeah, Penn State's always got a pretty strong team. Yeah, Delbert, I get a lot of extra motivation from hanging out with you guys too. It kind of keeps me on the grind and on my toes, and that's good for me. I need to have that little bit of extra spark of people caring about what I've got going on and helping me drive towards my goals. I'm planning on taking some more serious time with this thing later tonight when I'm not playing around, but I figured I would do some warming up first, and that's kind of what I'm here to do. What's up, Labs? I'm glad you're here, brother. I wanted to do a shout out for you, and maybe I will keep this one since we're doing the shout out for you right now. I didn't keep the one last night because I was really just fiddling around and hanging out with the boys. There was no real reason to pass it on for anybody that I could remember. If I did delete something you were hoping to see, we can redo it, or if you were lucky enough to be here, you already saw it anyway, so it's all good. But yeah, like I was telling Delbert on his way in, I'm going to start doing a random one here and there, just to have fun with you guys and not have anything particularly planned. It's fun for me too, so I don't have to stay on script as much when I don't have something I'm already trying to tell you guys about or some mail I'm trying to show you. But yeah, our new friend Labs is in the chat. Labs is a really cool guy. He's a new picker. He's got his yellow belt, I believe he was telling me earlier today. But he is working on doing a channel where he's going to be playing around with locks and having more of a mature content, enjoyable time talking about BS, which is where he gets the name for his channel. So I'm looking forward to hanging out over there. And him and Delbert have also been talking about doing some restream and hanging out with each other on the lives. I was struggling to get my restream up the other night because of really trash signal at the house right now. But when I get my Wi-Fi back in here on Wednesday, I'll be able to multi-host a bunch of people, and then we can all have one big picker party like they do on the fancy channels. So.
Florida State's leading Alabama in the fourth quarter.
All right. I love to see Bama lose. I hope
number 8.
I hope it stays that way. Florida State is not a fan of, not something I love very much. I got to be honest, I'm more of a Canes man when I'm back in the Sunshine State, but anybody beating Bama is something I can embrace most of the time. My sister went to Auburn, so that's just how it works.
I don't know if they won or lost last night.
War Eagle, baby. The Tigers, the real Tigers.
They were winning, but not by much.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of what anybody's got to offer this year. Zoe, yeah, me again. I just got nothing better to do with my days, Zoe. So we're having a little impromptu live. I'm doing a little pick and practice on these berserker things, and getting myself warmed up for a little pack lock attack later tonight. Hey, Skipper. Nice to see you made it too, brother. I was just getting ready to message you and tell you I was home, but I thought you'd probably pop in anyway, so I'm glad to see you made it. I don't have anything big planned for this one. Much like yesterday turned out, this is just kind of an impromptu jab at having a little fun with you guys, hanging out in the chat. I'll probably keep this one though, since I've got some shout outs that I wanted to make sure get out there. But have a new friend, Jacob, that I made today in one of Dean's lives, and he subbed to my channel, and I told him I would give him a shout out as well when he makes his way in, or if Delbert wants to share his link. Delbert, if you've got a link to Jacob, I'm not sure if you've got one, but feel free to drop one in there, brother. And also, if you would like to drop one for our brother Labs in the chat, that would be great. So if anybody in the chat wants to jump over and sub to Labs, he's also in the chat. So you can just click on his icon and follow to his subscribe window really quick. It's cool, Delbert. Don't stress it too much, brother. I just wanted to make sure I give them some shout outs, love. They're both up and coming pickers, new guys like me, and as I grow here, I want to make sure I'm always still feeding the love back towards the newest pickers who are joining us in this adventure. Because I have been welcomed very open-armed by the pickers in the community who have been here way longer than me. And that's just how these kinds of things are supposed to work, guys. If you're in the community and you're new, get with some people who are more experienced and let them help you get things going. And if you are somebody who's been around a little while, you know, show some love to the new guys. Help them build their stuff up too. You never know which one of them is going to be the next big Bosnian Bill, you know what I mean? So be good to people, and people will be good to you. That's kind of the whole mantra of Mountain Mix life, and Locksport seems to be very much that way. I've been super blessed by the people I've got to meet here, both in friendship and sometimes in gifts. And the biggest gift they all give is their friendship. That is invaluable to me. I didn't really have a lot of friends outside of me and the family and my lady. So it's nice at 38, almost 39, to be rediscovering what it's like to have cool friends. Wild William, nice to see you made it in, sir. Thank you for joining us. As I was explaining to some of the other people here, this is just an impromptu hangout practice chat. I'm just doing a little live for the Labor Day weekend, hanging out Friday night type of thing. Exactly, Zoe, 39, just a kid. I'm still very green. I'm still learning what life's all about. I'm just now getting a little bit of gray hair and wisdom on me. So much love to all the people in life who are survivors and who are older than me. Life is hard. I've lost a lot of friends just getting to this age. And if you're older than me, I respect that. You know, shed down some good knowledge with me about how you continue to make it through life every day enjoyably, and I will try to pass that on too, because that's what life's all about, guys. Passing on everything that you gain and experience, passing on your DNA, making some piece of you to leave behind that is good in the world. That's what we're all trying to do here. And if we know it or not, that's a whole nother subject. Zoe the cat, when I was 39, Abraham Lincoln was still president. That's awesome, Zoe. I didn't realize you were of the older than me persuasion, but that's good to know, Zoe. I always love getting to know my friends a little more. Skip says he voted for Lincoln. Skip's definitely old school. That's why I love having him around. There's a lot to be learned from the OGs, people. Have some respect for them. Like I said, if they're still on the planet this long, there's a damn good reason. So when they tell you about something, they probably know what they're talking about. I was a little younger and more hard-headed early in life. I never wanted to listen to that stuff, except for my grandma. I was always good at listening to Grandma and Papa. They had great advice, but I didn't realize how many strangers or friends I would meet in life who could also add to that wealth of experience and try to save me a little bit of trouble and drama by telling me what to avoid and what to do to deal with different things when they pop up. So, life coaches, mentors, they're always nice to have. If you don't have a mentor, find you one. And if you're not mentoring somebody, find you a Padawan learner and help them get some of that. Yeah, exactly, Zoe. Wisdom doesn't come until you hit 40. That's something I actually agree with you on. Being as I'm creeping up to 40, I know I've still got some that needs to fill in, but I'm finally starting to feel it creep towards me. I do feel like I've calmed down a little bit. I spent a lot of my youth angry, a lot of it sad, and a lot of it really confused. And I'm a pretty intelligent guy, I like to think. I'm a little silly, I'm a little off, but uh, unlike Forrest Gump, I do consider myself an intelligent man. So, at any rate, I definitely have a lot to learn, and pushing 40 has taught me that most of the things I thought I knew about, I had the total wrong idea about. And even the things I had the right idea about, I had the wrong approach about. The real points in life are all different from what I thought they were going to be. All the things that used to mean something to me mean nothing to me now. And all the things that I always knew were going to end up being important are starting to really take center stage. That's part of getting older, I guess. So, I feel blessed to still be here. Like, I've had a lot of friends I've had to marry, a lot of friends that I've had to watch go at a very young age. My best friend died of cancer when we were both 12. And if nothing else, for the people that we don't have with us anymore, we owe it to those people to live in place of them and carry on their light and legacy and to do all the things they didn't get a chance to do. Exactly, and yet you used to know everything but didn't even know what you didn't know. Then it got bigger, right? I know how that goes. I think getting older means you forget that you knew all that stuff. That's what the forgetful part they don't tell you is. Happy early birthday to Skip! Yes, absolutely. Me and Skip are Scorpio brothers. We're both in the November club. We are both Scorpios. And me and Skip are going to have a double birthday this time. Keytron says he forgot everything he ever knew. Yeah, Keytron, I think I've done a good job Men in Black blinking myself out of my mind a few times too. Usually am able to remember my own name and how I got a certain part of the way to where I am. Not always why I got where I'm woken up at or who's around, but it's been interesting a few times. I woke up in a whole nother state one time, had no idea how we got there, and I was supposed to be in class. Apparently, I did some drinking with a good buddy in college, and we decided randomly at about 3 a.m. to take a road trip to South Carolina and see all of his buddies. I remember having a good time and riding around. I also remember the plan being to get back before school the next day. That didn't happen. Good times. Nick Matlack. I didn't know you were snuck up in here, brother. Nice to see you here. As you can see, I am still playing around with the Reaper you sent me. It's one of the only things I have. This #1 profile is one of the only things I have sneaky enough to get on all these little berserker locks that were sent to me by Jaded Argyle. I have yet to stick a rake in one of these. I might try that here in a minute. See if I can do a little quint rake jiggling on it. But as I mentioned last night, Jaded Argyle sent me these. There's two of them. That's 32 total locks. Unfortunately, because they are Chinesium, some of the cores are starting to snap. A couple of them snapped on him before he got them here to me. That's okay, as long as 20 of them work, we'll be all right. But yes, I'll definitely be enjoying it very well, Nick. You knew very well when you sent me these that I was going to take good care of them and put them to a lot of use. So thank you for that. And yeah, definitely am having to use a turner in here, not because I have to, but because Nick told, or I'm sorry, Jaded Argyle told me that when he initially did this for Lockjaw, they told him to do it with a turner. He had done it without a turner and not like the way it looked because they claimed it looked too much like past them all. So he was forced to go back and redo them about 3 or 4 times because, as he tells me, and I'm sure he is correct, moving the turner from lock to lock slowed him down immensely. So, and yeah, these guys are so small. Let me show you this, guys. This is the average, everyday, nothing special, but it is great. I don't mean to down talk it, so don't take me wrong there. This is just a regular quint rake, right? This is the one from the FNG set that you can get from Covert Instrument. The tip on this is not huge or anything, right? I've used it in tons of locks. It's just like a magic trick how much this thing works. But look at this thing. If I stick it in one of these little guys with no rake, it's probably just right to do a little jiggle twist love on it and get those opens. Unfortunately, even with one of my itty bitty little Reaper turning tools, which I do love very much, um, look at this, guys. Look how little room I've got to try and get the quint rake in there with a turner. It's just really not hardly even feasible. And if I do get behind it and get in there, you know what's going to happen next. One of these little fellas right here is going to grab behind that turner, and when I go to pull it backwards, it's coming on out of there anywhere it wants. So I'm still working against that. That's also a very good reason why I was really hoping to get me about 19 more of these bad boys. Because if I had 19 of these guys, I've got a feeling these guys were ripped open pretty quick. Oh, that one jammed. Sorry. Oh, I dropped it. I'm going to do it again. I had the turner in there sideways and dropped it when I popped it. Bound to happen sometimes. Let me flip it around the right way. Use the turner the right way, Mick. Jeez. But yeah, these Reaper turners are great. I've been enjoying the hell out of using them. I won't even pretend that I don't. If you don't have Reaper set turners yet, you can get them in the chop shop, or you can go ahead and just get the whole Reaper set. I'd recommend just going ahead and getting the Reaper set personally, because there's some great profiles in there that I am enjoying ownership of. And if you cannot or would rather just get the if you would rather just get the McTickler separately, or a couple of profiles from it separately, and then get your turners separately, you can order just individual picks, or the turners alone from the Reaper set come in a pack of the 6 that are in it in the chop shop. So that is a possibility also. Delbert says $34 for the turners and a tickler is what he's wondering about right now. Delbert, I'm kind of on the fence on that one, brother. Would it be worth it for you to go ahead and save the money and get this awesome case and another 4 picks? Absolutely. But or whatever, these turners are absolutely next level, dude. Like, If I took my Sparrows curved because they're longer, and I've got flats and curved ergos in this one, and I paired that with the Reaper Turners from CI literally could throw everything else I have out the window of the car. I wouldn't need them ever again. I do have a bunch of other ones. Most of them are just your basic Z-bars and L-rakes, or windshield wiper styles, or just the regular flat knurled kind of stuff from Sparrows. All that stuff works good in vices and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, for a tensioner one level 1 set and the price you get those, they're fantastic. I mean, they're better than just having to bend your own out of a bunch of wiper blades. So don't get me wrong, that they are good stuff. But the best ones that I own, in my personal opinion, are going to be the curved set, plus it comes in this really sweet webbed case that lots of people like to use to put all kinds of cool goodies into. And the maces, of course, you guys know I'm crazy about. The Mace 2 comes with this turner. Let me put something behind it so you can see it well. This is the turner that comes in the Mace 2, okay? It was my favorite turner for a little while because it has a top of keyway that's really good and has teeth on it, and then it has just a regular L bar on this side. And it is pretty significantly thick. It is not going to be one of those flexy bendy ones for you. This thing's made stout. I could use just this. Also, an honorable mention of the same type of thing that used to be my favorite for a long time. This is the little windshield wiper double-ended style that came out of the FNG set. It's got the same cutaway down size part as the Reaper set. This one's a Reaper. This one is from the FNG. And the bigger difference there that I like about the Reaper ones, standard L. Well, on the Reapers, they've gone ahead and put an extra bend. You see that? This little extra bend corner right here makes two really great things happen. It's a great place to rest your index finger when you're using the other side. And it is just like its sister on the other side. The cutaway allows you to do bottom of keyway with more room to get your pick up off of. So just wanted to say that yes, as turners go, it's 75% of the game, and we always spend all this time talking about picks, and Mountain Mick has not, properly spent time telling you guys about turners, so I want to fix that really quick. When you get into Sparrow's stuff or a lot of other companies' stuff, you will start out with more of these kind, guys. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat real quick. Not Too Dead, thanks for coming through. Glad you're here. Let's see who else got in here. Mr. Brown, thank you for stopping by. Yes, Keytron, you won't regret it. The entire set is very much worth it. I was fortunate enough to have it gifted to me, and I had put it off a long time because I'm unemployed, don't have a lot of cash, and I had already spent all my money on good Sparrows gear and Jimmy Long's gear, and I've always been wanting it since day one. Well, my friend Nick was kind enough to send me over one, and now that I've had it in my hand for long enough to really use it, I have to say it is a very high quality set. Intermediate level picker, I would go straight to the Echelon personally. And were I just starting out and wanting to go with Covert, I really do believe they've got a good 3-step thing going there. If you get the Genesis first, you'll have thick stuff, or the FNG is honestly enough to start out with. Once you get past either the Genesis or FNG, I would then recommend grabbing an Echelon to upgrade yourself into some 20 size picks and some other really cool stuff I still don't have, like that double-sided tubular turner and the dimple rake. Those are some really cool pieces of kit that I need to add to my collection as well. And I think they've even got the hall pass style cards in that set, if I'm not mistaken. You guys have to let me know about that for sure, because I'm not as well versed in the covert stuff. But the Reaper, as intermediate to expert level picker, because it's all 20s, um, you could honestly skip from the Genesis over the Echelon to the Reaper as well, but I would still go back and get it. Honestly, if I only have two from them, I would get the Reaper and the Echelon. And then, of course, I would get some Delta handles to fix that lack of handle, because I'm a handle snob. Um, Obviously, when you're thinking about all those things added together in the money, I would be remiss if I did not mention the Apex set, because it comes in that really cool snap case. And instead of getting the metal handles with the need for an upgrade, you'll go ahead and have a more composite type one like the Jimmy Longs. So while I personally always, I have used enough covert profiles to recommend and agree that they make a very premium quality tool, especially at the price point, and you can't go wrong shopping with them either, guys. Um, so that's all I'm going to say to that effect. Lock Leisure, what's up? Glad to see you getting on in here to have a little fun. I'm just playing around. I didn't have anything planned. I just got home from being out riding around with my dad all day, and I thought I would just do another cool impromptu live and play around with some of my stuff, do a little practice, and talk to all you guys. Right now, I'm just talking about turners, because I don't talk about turners enough. Everybody always asks me about all these crazy pick profiles that I've been adding between the dog legs and the Reaper, all my OG Sparrows stuff, the FNG, and all my Jimmy Longs, as well as having the other ones that I have on the Escort that I don't have in regular picks yet. I have definitely been blessed to amass myself with a army of picks to try, as well as the mini picks of my mace set. Somebody asked me the other day, Mountain Mick, how many picks do you have? And I hadn't thought about it in a while, but the answer is 37 if you include the maces, as far as profiles in a single pick. Now, some of those are going to be doubles or different links from each other because of different brands, etc. But I've only been doing this for 2 months. I have 37 different types of pick to pick from, choose from. And for anybody super new, again, as people have told you very much, they are correct. Oh, I forgot to mention my Peterson. I do have that one Peterson hook. But I guess what I was getting ready to say is, if you're super new, yeah, you're going to end up building your own super master kit of stuff to play with as you go. But as many people will tell you, for all intents and purposes, any one of these three, or let me grab the one from the FNG. The one from the FNG is the same profile exactly as this number 3 Reaper, by the way. I held them up beside each other the other day. They are near identical. The only major difference is the depth and the handle itself being a popsicle versus the Reaper cut one. And the thickness. Because it's a Reaper, it is a 20, whereas the FNG is a 25. This is a Jimmy Long's classic gem hook. I do still want to get the flats and the rounds, but this is a gem hook. It is in a 19, which makes it kind of a mid-scale size, and it works very well and is just as strong as any 25 I have. The strength isn't the issue so much as the side-to-side movement you will get from feeling less of the keyway, and feedback would typically be an issue there, but if you've ever used a Jimmy Longs, you will know feedback with a Jimmy Longs is never an issue. These things will scream at you. They scared me the first couple times I used them, because I would be picking warding and I was afraid I was tearing them up, so I started babying them a little bit. When I finally got past that and started to trust them, locks started flying open, guys, and some tough, built like a tank picks. I am not that heavy-handed while being a very large-handed man. But I've had a lot of time to practice delicate stuff because I'm a mechanic by trade. so I'm very used to using my hands. I also play guitar and do some other things, but what I'm trying to get at the moment is that if you are a new picker, this is a Sparrows 25, just regular classic low or medium hook. It is from the hooker set. The reason I have these four out is just to show a difference in hands, but what I want to say is you only need one of these style to get really started well. I will hold the Jimmy, for example, as we continue. Um, that's why the FNG is a really good starter set, because truly, if you've never picked before, you need one decent hook. This Jimmy is a gem hook, so I would recommend getting a flat hook to start out with, no matter the brand. Either get yourself an FNG, which will give you the 25, or again, I use the Sparrows a lot, but the FNG is great because if you get an FNG, you will get one of these acrylic locks to kind of give you a little visual learning aid and get you started on playing around with something. You can keep it like me to show to other noobs and give them the visual idea of how a lock works. But it also is going to come with this 25 hook, and it's going to also come with this quint rake. So basically you will get those, and you will also get the lock. And where did the turner go? There he is. So an FNG is basically, never mind the tubing on these. I put that tubing on myself. Are going to come round popsicle style and looking bare like a Reaper. My Reapers have some handles on the way. Thank you, Nick Matlack, for making all my CI dreams come true. You are truly my covert instrument Santa Claus at this point, and I will be trying to bless you somehow. But yes, I didn't know the FNG costs more than $10 now, Yin, yet. That is shocking to me. Also, I continue to tell the people at Covert Instruments that if they're going to be super cool, they should take some FNG apexes. Make a cool set of apex FNG so that some new pickers can get a premium experience of having a dope handle on that pick, and we can keep them interested in lock sport by doing so. I don't run the companies of anybody. It's just a suggestion. But Snake, what's up, Snake? Glad to see you made it here, brother. I'm just talking about random stuff. This is an impromptu, and then I just wanted to chit chat and run off of live fun and talk to the guys in the chat. So here we are. I'm currently talking about new pickers, what they need to start, and turners, because that is a subject of much discussion right now, and I feel that it's something that I can add to. And so currently I am telling new pickers that an FNG set, while not being a Sparrows product, obviously is a Covert Instruments product, but one that I would recommend for new pickers if you're just trying to get started out low level. Really, these two picks, you can make it all the way to green belt without, needing anything else but talent. Okay, and they are good enough tools. You will not break them or bend them unless you are the Incredible Hulk or doing something incredibly wrong. The acrylic lock is a nice little bonus for you to be able to learn with your eyes what's going on, but don't pay attention to your eyes long, because you will be mostly blindfold and picking blind whenever it comes to really picking a lock. And the acrylic also provides way different tolerances and feeling from real metal, so please keep it. Use it for a little bit of time so you can get the idea, but once you're sure that you know how a lock works, it's done its job. So move on, because it will frustrate you and teach you some bad habits, at which point I would recommend getting yourself any style of master lock, low level, number 3 up. Also get yourself a Brinks brass. These are a white belt and a yellow belt lock. You can get one of the Master 3s. This is a 3 up, technically. But you can get a Master 3 for You can get a Brinks brass on the same exact shelf for about $10 at Walmart. If you want, you can get a multi-pack of either one of them, even keyed alike. Being keyed alike is not of any concern to pickers because the binding order of any said core can change from lock to lock. So you will get a different picking experience from each lock, even if you use the same key to open them all. So I didn't know that starting out, and it's a very useful piece of information because I was avoiding some of the multi-packs because of that, and I would have saved some money had I known that the key to likes are still an interesting, good pick that varies from lock to lock. So noobs, get you some cheaper multi-packs. Don't force yourself to buy singles because you're worried about key to like. It is totally going to be different. Especially when you're new, it's going to feel totally different to you. So it will make no difference. Now, that being said, QTH, my boy Q, has entered the chat. Thanks for dropping in, Q. I was talking to you just before I decided to go impromptu live. And here we are, just talking about life, love, lock sport, and living large on Mountain Mick. At the moment, I am giving covered instruments, sparrows, Jimmy Longs, all a little bit of beginner love and telling people what things I got at the beginning of my journey, how little they really need to make it to green belt if they want to do it quickly. I would advise getting to green belt as quickly as possible and then pulling the e-brake like I have and slowing down and taking a lot of time to really focus on green belt and always continuing to have a blue belt. You always want to have your belt that you're on once you're at green. I wouldn't say waste a ton of money on white and yellow at all. And then on orange, it's fun to orange, and they're great warm-up locks. So if you're going to expand outside of just one lock at a belt, wait till orange. Just go ahead and run through white and yellow. You're not going to learn a ton outside of basic concept there. But when you get to orange, then start getting some more stuff. When you get to green and feel comfortable with oranges, you'll start picking A1100s and pack lock 100As and master lock 410, lotto locks, master lock S1100. These are all green level locks. And and don't let me forget, I don't have it sitting right here at the moment, but the Ace 38 millimeter, which is only about $12 at any Ace Hardware. Those are all excellent, hard to pick locks for anyone who's not been in the game super long. Once your skills are allowing you to open these type of locks regularly, you will be a very formidable picker. Even Mountain Mick at this point, for all his picking, I can't just zip one of these open for you guys in 5 minutes or less whenever I want while I'm on live. I'm trying to get that good, but I am not that good. So anyone who thinks that I am here to tell you Mountain Mick's not that good. He's still a new guy. He's still building his chops. And for that reason, that is why I'm still playing in the green and blue pool, because I am nowhere near ready to start using my other disciplines I haven't touched yet, like dimples, levers, maybe a little tubular impressioning. I'm more focused on green-blue stuff right now, like building challenge locks, decoding dial locks, getting better at picking green and blue locks. So yes, there's different things that you will be aiming for at each belt level. And for that reason, it's good to talk to other people around your belt class. People who recently belted up to the class above you will be very helpful in telling you how to get there. Way to green. It took me 5 weeks. I think anybody who's got a lot of free time on their hands like I did and can get a hold of just I started out with the 2 locks I recommended, the Master 3 and the Brinks Brass. And then I got one of those Greg Potter bundles. Greg's a great guy. I've been not pushing people towards him too hard so he could get caught up lately. But if you're a noob and you can get on Facebook, you can find Greg Potter and he will hook you up with an FNG set and about 14 or 15 locks that range in variety. There's also a really good, my other friend had just showed me, Mustang guy. He just showed me the other day that I didn't know, but there is a pick your way to green or blue set at Lock Picker's Bench, where you basically, lots of people offer that these days, something that didn't used to exist. But I would highly recommend, if you have the money, to get yourself one of those geared kits to get yourself through the belts as you go. It will save you money and a lot of headache trying to source all the locks. Amazon is a good way to order things as well. I think my first 1100 that I ordered, I got, not this one, but I got it for like $12. I got free shipping because you can sign up for Amazon Prime on your first order and get a month of free Prime shipping. So it was literally like $12 to get it within 3 days at my door. So that's how you can get an easy American. There's also a lot of that you can find a core only kick with key. It's cheaper to buy that way once you have a body or two to swap in and out of, or you can just pick them in a vise without them being in the body. But the point is, you can get the Americans for like $5, and you can get the pack locks, I think, for more like 8 to 10 if you buy them that way. So that will save you a lot of money, especially on the pack locks, because the American, you're saving about a third price for just buying the kick, and the pack lock, it can be up in the $40-ish range a lot of times. So you're only spending 25% to get the kicks on those. Okay, so what I was trying to say is an FNG set is a great way for pickers to start out. I would recommend getting yourself something like that. Or if you've got a little more play money, go ahead and maybe get yourself either a Genesis. I don't have a Genesis here, but it would basically be the FNG, but with an additional 2 picks, I believe, and some more turners, and the case. And the case that it comes in is basically, if I'm not mistaken, just a black version of this one. The Echelon as well, the upgraded intermediate one there, is a great option that has a couple of tools I still don't have in it. I will be getting one of those in the future. That is not the way I started, though, guys. The way I started was I saw a post. Well, first of all, I was a big Bosnian Bill fan for years. So when I decided to buy picks, I found a post from John Locke. John Locke on Reddit had a post telling how to buy a good beginner kit from Sparrows for Lock Sport. So I was instructed from that to get the hooker set. The hooker set is this hook, and then I don't know if you can see it there because there's a couple things in front of it, but this one, and this one. So those 4 make the hooker set from Sparrows. They're a variable round and flat. They're all 25s. It's pretty cheap to get one of those. Then I added the SS Dives, which is a German lock sporting group that helped Sparrows by suggesting a few things missing from the hooker set. So then you've got 7, and I added the Monkey Paw, the one with the design on it, but you can also get the paw in multiple thicknesses and with or without the rubber handles. And then I added this comp case. The comp case is not that expensive. It's like 10 or 12 bucks. It's a really good, pretty zipper case. It zips up and keeps all your stuff from falling out or getting away. It is still my main case I like to use, though I am very fond of my Jimmy Long's tool roll that I will show in a moment. But the comp case is a good starter option, and as many of you have probably noticed already, it does have the ability to snap back like this into a very cool tabletop option, so that way you can reach over and just grab your stuff off your desk. And I really love that feature as well, because it makes it easier for me to kind of use them like a holster when I'm out here doing my picking thing. Now, it would only be fair to mention that covert, if you should go that route, if you get the Genesis, or I forget the name of this case, Sorry. Sorry, guys. Had a little glitch there. Are you still with me, guys? If someone could confirm quickly in the chat that I got my signal back, that would be helpful to me. I think we had a little glitch wave there. It told me reloading, so it looks like it's back to me. I just want to make sure before I continue. All right, thanks, Rockout. I didn't see you sneak in here, Rockout, with your lockout. Now I see that you just got here, but welcome, Rockout, with your lockout. Glad to see you are here, sir, and glad to see that I am still here. I was in the middle of showing off that if you get starter sets like the one from Covert, you will get this case. I forget the name of it right now. I think it's the Garrison, but maybe that's their name for a bigger one. One of you guys who's a Covert expert are going to have to tell me the answer to that. Lock Leisure says, I can pick an MTL International faster than a Ace Brass. Wow. Yeah, the Ace Brass is a very formidable lock. It's a spool fest, from what I'm told. I saw one of them gutted by somebody finally, and it was basically a bunch of mean brass spools. And probably one, check pin of some sort, because as you grow and progress, you will learn that very rarely does a lock have all spools in it, because it makes them really sloppy from not having anything to guide the core to stay flat and straight whenever the pins are lifting. Much like the way it kicks forward and back when you're picking on one of the spools, you will have the same issues with a lock that has nothing but spools, only it'll be even sloppier because there's no solid check pin to keep it from flopping around. So one set or one standard pin, so that way it's not a complete spool fest. So if you ever are making a practice lock run, it's fun to practice all spools, but just know that in real life you're probably not going to come across a situation like that except in challenge locks. Rockout says the Garrison is the one from the Echelon set with the fold outs. Okay, so that's the difference I was not aware of. I forgot. I told you guys I'm not an expert on CI, but I do love their stuff. I'm a little bit more knowledgeable about what's in the Sparrow's arsenal, admittedly. But what Rockout is talking about is the case that comes on the Reaper, as you can see, I believe is the same as the Genesis, which is going to give you these two pockets. It's going to give you a card stash pocket. That's where I like to keep my maces. And he said the other one's called a Tradecraft. So this one is going to be a Tradecraft, I guess. And the Garrison has another spot that folds out and offers you a lot more room for your stuff. And that's why the Echelon has it, because the Echelon, yes, rock out. The horns for sure. Always rocking it with you, brother. The extra space is necessary for an Echelon kit because they jam-packed so many goodies in there with the tubular turner stuff and the dimple rake. Those aren't things you see most companies throw into a pick set. So it's very versatile, and it is something I still plan to add to my own goodies kit one of these days. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that all of their cases have a Velcro spot for your patch to go on. Somebody can confirm or correct me on that, but generally you will get a big area. I'll just show it. You'll get a big old area. Yeah, you can also put the maces in an Altoid tin. Yin Yet is correct about that. Since you brought it up, Yin Yet, Brother Rockout has a really cool video he just put out showing an Altoid tin with a lot of survival swag, everyday carry stuff put in it. So if you're into that kind of survival or EDC stuff like myself and like Dean and like Rockout with your lockout, I would recommend you guys go check out Brother Rockout with your lockout. He does a lot of that stuff on his channel, as well as primitive fire making. And I'm really into that stuff. I love hanging out with Rockout and with Dean and checking those things out. Rockout says that the ergo turners are worth the Echelon, loves the tensioners. Yeah, rock out. I haven't got the actual ergos yet from CI. I was just having a big Turner session a minute ago talking about my favorite Turners. And I'm going to go back to that real quick since you brought it up. Um, First of all, I started life with a Sparrows 1, the Turner 1 set that I added to the build it yourself kit I was showing you guys that John Locke had recommended. So if you get the Tensioner 1, Turner 1 set from Sparrows, this is what you're going to get, alright? You're going to get 3 widths. Now I say widths because anyone who knows this set well knows that what I'm talking about is how wide they cut this top part of the L. And that's one of the reasons I'll get into in a moment. These are rudimentary and are very much like a real wiper blade setup. And unfortunately, that means that you don't get 3 thicknesses of metal on them. They kind of rely, let me show one in a lock. They kind of rely on the different height of how it's cut to make up the difference in the Turner being in there. And I think it's probably more cost effective in a little bit way for them there. But if I were to, I'll get into in a minute what I think about that stuff. Let me just show the stuff and then we'll talk about how I feel about it. So they will give you the Turner 1 set if you order it separately. It also comes in many of their pre-made kits. When I got the Mace 1 set, I actually acquired a total another set of them because I bought some, and had I known I was going to end up getting the Mace 1, the Mace 1 comes with the same set, so I ended up with doubles of all of those, which is okay because now I have one in my Sparrows kit and I have the other in my Jimmy Long's zipper kit. So I'm not sad that I have both. I'm just saying that if you are trying to save money, I would recommend getting the Mace 1 and 2 set because they are my favorite everyday carry and some of my favorite rake profiles. I'll get back to showing them in a moment. But anyway, you're going to get 1, 2, 3 different of the Z-style double-ended ones. The short end is for top of keyway. The long end is for bottom of keyway. That's the way these work. And let me show all 3 so you can kind of get an idea of what I was saying a minute ago about how wide they cut them. Okay, the thickness of all 3 of these is pretty much the same, guys. The metal is the same thickness that they used on these. What they did, let me get something on so you can see better. What they did, there we go. As you can see, there are 3 different widths that they cut it in that direction of width. So they are effective. It does work good when you're first learning and using bottom of keyway and still wanting to have a little bit of top of keyway to try out. The other 3 that you get in that set are these. They are classic, just 90-degree turn in the top, L style. But they also are like wiper blades. And again, they did not do any etching or any fancy work with these. They are pretty much just run-of-the-mill wiper blades, and they are cut in, again, 3 different widths, but that is not as effective as using 3 different actual thickness sizes, which I learned later. Let's see. Yeah, Rockout says he still uses the turners he's talking about with the raking a lot. And I would agree with him that what you're going to use for a turning tool very much depends on what attack you're using and what lock you're in. Which is why I wanted to have this talk on turners, because some people think that you can just skate through all your locks with one turner tool and that all your problems in life are going to relate to which pick that you're using. And I'm here to tell you guys, the turners are 75% of the battle. You need it to sit in there in a way that it's not going to fly out a bunch. You need it to sit in there in a way that it is the largest thing you can fit in it, much like picks. Um, the general strategy that you want to take when picking tools, I will show you. This an A1100, okay? Many people like to do it from bottom, many people like to do it from top. Both have different strategies and positive and negatives, we will say. So this is the turner that comes with the FNG set. As I was saying earlier, it is one of my more favorite turners because it is a dual-sided top of keyway and bottom of keyway, but you can still use the top of keyway one effectively as a bottom of keyway, and that extra little piece they trimmed out of it there is going to give you more area inside the keyway. Now, as you will notice, I can't get into that one with this. Why? It's too short. It won't make it past all of the stuff in the front of the lock. So if I flip it over and use the actual bottom of keyway that was intended to be used, then it will fit down in there. It's actually not a great fit for this particular lock, though. I'm even struggling now to get it in there in a way I like because of the warding itself not allowing it, because it's a little bit thicker, and that's why. So I would not want to use this one that way. Now, the way I would have gone about it before, Rockout says, tension is such an underrated element in picking, arguably more important than picking a profile. Yes, Rockout, that is kind of become my main topic of discussion on this live that we're currently having until I get back to picking here in a minute. I noticed we have 15 people. If a few of you missed your like along the way, Mountain Mick would really appreciate if you could give me the old thumbs up or the double tap on the screen. So did that. That's how it goes, but it's all good. So anyway, I was going to also illustrate that with the top of keyway side, which is the shorter end on one of these, that is how I would attack with this particular turner on this particular lock. You tried to like it twice, Rockout. That's okay, brother. I appreciate you liking it twice. You get twice the thank yous. So yeah, you can get the top of keyway in this one, and it works pretty good. It sits in there good, and one of the big deals about when you're using these type of body locks is having enough to where it won't just fit in it, but that it will also have enough length to fit past how far you have to get down in there to actually even be at the face of the core itself. So want to keep that in mind when you're choosing a turner. And also when you're choosing a turner, mini locks have these little rubber guards on them, but there's going to be other ones that don't, and particularly ones that have them pushed back, like this Abus 4540 here is a fine example. Look how big the rivets are on this bad boy. Those rivets stick up a lot, okay? And that is good design for the lock, but for the turner that my picking hand is trying to use, it is kind of in the way. What'll happen is, even if I were to pick this thing, if I run into that on my way to open it, I can get it jammed like I saw, and now I'm stuck. That means even if I had it picked, I couldn't crank down and get it open without very carefully backing up a little more with my turner. And while I'm doing that, I might drop a couple of pins altogether and be stuck starting over. So always want to make sure that you're using something where you've got clearance of things like the rivets in the way. And as I also mentioned, when you get some basic turners in the beginning, you're not going to have these issues as much. But as you get along further, you may be like me and go ahead and get yourself some of the flat knurled style Z-bar turners. I call these flat bars. I call the other ones Z-bars because it's a little confusing because they're both Z-shaped. So I've gone to referring to these as wiper blade style and referring to these as flat bars. So anyway, right now we're talking about flat bars. And with flat bars, these are the knurled from Sparrows. I do have them mixed in with the heavy also. So they did make some different thicknesses in these. Thank you for that, Sparrows. And that way you have some different options as far as how thick, not just how it was cut, that you can use. These particular ones work really well in a vise, but not as well in my hand. For not only the reason of them being flat, which makes it harder for me to use ergonomically, I just get better feedback from these in a vise. So I've got to the point where I really only use these in vise, but I still love using them and having them for that purpose. So I wouldn't recommend not getting either the Tensioner 1 or the knurled bars and heavy bars. I don't have the heavy, and I will not be getting them because I've already got some way nicer turners from Sparrows now and from CI, and I'll be showing you those next. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Sometimes she uses one pick but changes tensioners. Yes, I am much like that myself, Yet. Honestly, as I was talking about to any of the new people listening, without any specific broad different stuff in mind that changes my needs in particular, I very much feel comfortable in saying that just any decent medium depth, flat or round for your own preference is going to be such a versatile pick that unless you really need to sneak under a pin or if you really need a high lift from a deep, these are going to do most of your work no matter what you're working on. All these other ones that you see us all get are basically just for those things I'm talking about, more rare situations. So when you see me break out something like this Peterson here that is a pretty deep, or when you see me break out, let's see, where's my deepest gem hook at? That one's probably the deepest one. And also when you see me break out the deepest gem hook, but this one with the tape on it, because I don't have the fancy little stick things yet. I think Walt Cade will hook me up with those when I get a package trade going with him. Walt makes those little beads that go in there, and 44 Delta offers them as well. Different picks for. Sometimes you're going to have, a ton of room in the keyway, okay? An 1100 or a Packlock 98 Pro, you can get away with putting 25s in there and having a good old time. Now when you start playing with some stuff like, let me bring out one of these. I had them all sitting here. Where'd they go? There we go. For example, this Abloy, and also one of these, yeah, that's a great example. Check this one out. You're not going to use a 25 in one of these guys. I'm sorry that my camera isn't better. I'd have a better zoom in for you guys on this one if I did. But if you can kind of see, maybe if I get the background, it'll zoom better. But anyway, this is a paracentric lock that come from Europe. My friend Neil W. sent me this guy over, and it is not wanting to focus still, but it's a very jagged paracentric keyway that has a lot of overlapping warding. It just looks like this all the way across, like somebody is interlacing their fingers like this. So getting a big 25 up in there is not going to be the way to go. And guys, looks like I'm getting a little bit of signal fade again there, but the Avis, there we go. It's got this one wording that juts out really. So I can't go from the bottom up on this one with a standard 25. There's just no way I'm ever going to make any progress that way. That is the reason I initially got the 15s in the Jimmy Longs, because it was necessary for me to be able to even get to the pin on a lock like this. Let me see what you guys are talking about here. That Peterson looks like it would rock some cuffs. Yeah, rock, I agree. I have seen the type of stuff you guys use for the cuffs, and I would have to say that much like the Greyhound dog leg that I know is one of your favorites, the Peterson seems to have a pretty deep dive in there. Excuse me. Greyhound actually just made and released the deep dog legs in the last day or two. Delbert was telling me he just ordered some, and they are awesome. Yes, me too, and yet I also am late to the Shackleman cuff party, and I will be trying to get into that fun as soon as I possibly can as well. Yeah, some painter's tape or some tubing really does help a lot. And again, Rock Out, I would agree with you on the cuffs with the Peterson thing, but I would warn you to be careful because Dean, unfortunately, snapped his free Peterson while he was on live the other night. I saw it happen. So I'm hoping that he'll get another one to replace that one, but we'll see what happens. That's not really my deal. If it was mine to take care of, I'd already have one on the way to him. However, I will be sending Dean one of the McTicklers that Nick Matlack sent me to help ease his worries. Brett Sucks! What's up, Brett Sucks? Brett Sucks, the legend of Brett. Make sure you say hello to BrettSucks.com.org. Hashtag Brett Sucks. Just getting a straw set up for my monster. I'm switching drinks here, guys. My voice is getting a little too thin. I could use one of those teas with honey that the rock stars all use to keep their voices better. Anyway, Rockout says, I just sent Dean a huge package this morning. Oh, I'm glad you sent it, because he's been talking about that thing for 2 days to me, Rockout. I know he's very excited to get that package from you, like a child on Christmas, so I'm happy for you and happy for him. Yeah, and yet I feel like Mike will probably hook him up too. Mike is a great guy. We'll go ahead and give him a quick shout out too, since we're on the subject. Anybody who likes the Peterson pick that we're all talking about, this would be just a good time for me to bring up that our boy Mike, he is a locksmith. He is also here in my home state of North Carolina. He lives maybe an hour from where I'm sitting right now. He is the one who's sprinkling the Peterson love on all of us right now. Apparently, old man Peterson hooked him up with a bag of slight defect picks. And generally what they do is clear house on those. And they sent him some. That's why they got the pin on them. These are free pick. So if you are interested in getting yourself a free Peterson made in the USA to try out, Door and Lock Tips is the name of his channel. Just look up Door and Lock Tips. You can also find a video I shared from him that features me in the videos from friends part of my playlist section. And that will guide you to him. So all you really need to do is watch the video, and you can get his email, and that way you can email him, give him your name and address, and he will send you out a free Peterson pick. That's how I got mine, and that's how many of my buddies in the chat got theirs. there is also a massive sale coming up that he will tell you about once you get all linked up with him. So, big thank you to Door and Lock Tips for the Peterson love. Thanks to Peterson also for letting him do that. And Mountain Mick considers Door and Lock Tips to be a North Carolina brother and friend, and all locksmiths to be, superheroes that we like hanging out with. So, that's all I'm going to say about that. Get out there and get yourself a free Peterson while supplies last. When I talked to him just the other day, he commented on one of my last videos and made me aware that he is still stocked up at the moment. They are going very fast. He is working day and night to send them to you. Unfortunately for my friends who are outside the U.S., he is not currently shipping outside the U.S. as part of this giveaway. I just wanted to bring that up because Mountain Mick is an international channel, and I didn't want any of my guys getting disappointed when they found out that they weren't able. So I would rather be the one to break it to you guys. Western Massacre Grits, my boy Grits, says, "Holy smokes, you're live more than Johnny Carson ever was." Well, Johnny Carson didn't have YouTube. Otherwise, he might have done that. And Johnny Carson had a whole lot more talent on his show. But he also had the backing of a major network, and there was only 3 channels that exist at the time. So he had his positives and negatives there, my brother. But I'm a fan of Carson. I always liked watching it. Also was more of an Ed Sullivan man while we're on the subject. I believe, Brett, sorry, I missed for a second there. I believe you were talking, who broke what? Dean, his free Peterson pick. He had been using the crap out of it, and I don't know what happened, but I was watching a live, and it went right at the base. So he still has a Peterson finger pick handle, and hopefully Mike can get him hooked up with another one, because I don't think that that's a usual thing to happen with one of those picks. And Dean is admittedly a little bit harder on picks than the average bear, but he also has many picks that I see him use all the time from many brands. I won't get specific because that's really his job to tell you, but just know that Dean is a shackleman. Dean tries and buys like we all do, and he has broke other picks before. He is making an effort to lighten up on it. But, what works for him is opening a lot of locks. So, I would advise him to see where he can lighten up a little bit when possible. However, picks are all, and I mean all, eventually a wear item. Kind of like a brake pad, guys. A pick is not necessarily made to last forever, okay? What you're doing with it when you use it is metal on metal contact. Over time, that's why we use the rules that we use with locks, guys. Over time, all your babies, these beautiful little locks you bought, you're wearing out the springs in there. You're wearing out the pins in there. Even if you use the key, you're wearing out the pins and the springs in there. Locks are not immortal, just like many other human-made objects. And picks are no different. No matter how well you use them, how light-handed you are, and how much Western Mass, some of the monkeys that pee on me. I don't know, man. I think I'll pass on monkeys that pee on me for now, Grits. I'm not really into pee. Monkeys are cool, but I'm going to need them to use the bathroom or be house trained. Broken Phalanx Lock Sport. That's my boy. I couldn't remember his handle the other day. Seahorn, right? That's you? Confirm for me, Seahorn, that I haven't smoked myself retarded and that Broken Phalanx Lock Sport is your channel and I'm not totally misremembering you in any way. That's correct. All right. Mountain Mick loves to know that he keeps track of you guys properly up here in the head. the last time I mentioned Seahorn, and I'm calling him Seahorn again because to me that's who he is. I had met him on Reddit, guys, and he was the friend who was cool enough to, where did it go? I have it on my other table. I'll grab it in a second. For anybody who was wondering earlier, this is an Ace 38 milli. I just found it laying here. So this is an Ace 38 milli. It is very, very formidable lock. It is a green belt. You can get one for about $12 at Ace, or you can get multi-packs. But yes, as Seahorn said in the chat, Seahorn spelled with threes in place of the E, much like Mountain Mick has I's swapped out with ones. So Seahorn has an E after the S and an E on the end. So just spell it that way and replace the E's with 3, and you'll be able to find him on Reddit. But for everyone who sent me over the Packlock 100A, which is the 6-pin version of the Packlock that I am currently struggling with, this one and this one, Packlock make fantastic locks. They are an American company, and as most of you know, they have the 200K achievement that you get a patch and a letter and a sticker, and to know that you have achieved lock-picking, lock sport greatness when you get one of those bad boys open. It is a monument lock, a landmark lock, much like the A1100 that I've been showing half the video. Some people consider the 1100 tougher than the 90A Pro. I don't know how to weigh in on that properly because I have opened this one and not that one. It varies by the person, but it also very much varies by the bitting. The key that I have, for example, for this one, and the key that I have for this one are the same key as far as type of key, because they are the same plug, which is why I'm using them both to try and learn what it's like to pick one. However, as you can see, one is in a plastic lotto style body. That is going to be your PL410 Pro. And then the aluminum bodied one, that is the popular one everybody usually gets, is guttable, is the Packlock 90A Pro. That is 90 Alpha Pro. So, if you get one of either two of these open, you may rake it open for the 200K, by the way. Regarded just the same there at Packlock as it is here at Mountain Mick, which is to say, an open is an open is an open, and you will get your credit, your patches, and all of that good swag for a rake open, just as well as an SPP. So get out there, show Packlock some love. Other companies don't do this. It's genius marketing. It's genius for learning what would be better for their future locks. And they've been really great with the lock sport community. So big love to them for that. Yeah, Brett sucks. I know. This is a really busy time of day to do a live stream. And unfortunately, I am still battling having no Wi-Fi, sir. I will have my Wi-Fi back Wednesday, and we will get back to having the better phone, better camera, crystal clear quality, and the kind of bandwidth that will allow me to multi-stream with my friends who are wanting to jump on here with me via Restream. When you start backdooring your stream through Restream or any other third-party server, you are cutting your horsepower down, basically. It makes it a lot harder for your phone to broadcast 3 or 4 people at the same time. So you need a massive amount of RAM and free ROM, and you need a signal that doesn't suck. And the one that I've got right now is 4G at 2 bars. So we're trying really hard to stay with you guys in the hard times, so I'm not disappearing off the map. But I assure you all that Wednesday, Spectrum will have my real high quality Wi-Fi back, and at that point we will be using the other camera again, and I will use this camera as my monitor here, so I can use my device. This is holding camera right now, guys. When we can use the Wi-Fi one, I just set the good camera in this and aim it there for you guys so you can see me and I can move it around and my vise can be free, which makes a big difference because I don't have a camera mount, and due to that it's much better all the way around when I don't have to use my vise as a camera holder. Thank you, Brett, for letting me know we're having technical difficulties. Keytron recommends grabbing a pack lock cutaway. He says if you grab a pack lock cutaway, you'll have it down in no time. That sounds like a cool idea, Keytron. I would also recommend to anyone struggling like I am to do one of two things or both. One, I would advise learning as much as you can about progressive pinning. Okay, progressive pinning is the art of repinning a lock to make it easier for you to learn your way through it at a rate that you can basically set yourself. So instead of starting with all 7 stacks with security pins in it the way this lock was made, you can cut it all the way back down to 1 stack, 2 stacks, 3 stacks, etc. And also you can always use some standard stuff and only put one of the security in for you to see what they feel like, because I know that I was having a hard time learning what spools feel like and knowing when to push them more to set them and when to move on to the next one. Well, the biggest thing that helped me learning that was using this Mark's Slimline Euro double-sided that was sent to be my Nick Matlack. It's grub screwed, so you may have seen my mini series on using, or Covert Instrument makes one that's very similar to this looking like. This is a Schlage mortise cylinder, and Covert makes one like this that has 6 stacks with grub screwing already in it. This one that I've got has the bobble closed with a little snap in. But at any rate, if you get a grub screwed one, you need way less tools and way less time to repin it. Get yourself some security pins that match the size of what lock you use. I like to use the Sparrows that Skip sent over to me. I believe it's the check pins from the reload kit and some chest pins, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I still had them out here on the table, but maybe I put them away yesterday. At any rate, what you do is use those bad boys in a lock that fits them. You can fit them either in one of the Sparrows brand, like the Revolver or the Progressive Pin Night School type locks. Any of those are pretty interchangeable with each other. I recently also wanted to make a correction. I told everybody when I was building these slim lines with the Sparrows that these locks are a clone of a KW1 quick set, and they are. But MG Secure, one of my favorite mods over in Reddit land, helped me to. So I'm relying on poorer tolerances from the quick set to make that work, which they work great in mine, and the tolerances on the Slimline Marks are way better than the ones in an actual quick set, which is why it's still a great experience. However, the Schlage, like you will find Covert is using in their practice lock, has much better tolerances, and it matches up better, is what I'm basically saying. The hole that it goes in the pin stack and the size of the pin itself that we're using from Sparrows, they more closely fit each other. So essentially the hole is bigger on the quick set one that I'm using, which allows it to still work but be a little floppy, which we all know will cause it to be an easier lock to pick, and we want it to be the hardest possible when we're practicing as far as that goes. So I would also note that you can use them in any of the Sparrows challenge locks, but I have heard, not tried, that they are good for playing around with, but not as good tolerance wise with as when you use like a Schlage. I'm just trying to check all these messages coming in here for me, guys. There we go. All right, so let me see. Dean P says he is a champion pick breaker. Peen D, the 25 thou breaker. That's funny, Brett. Oh, wow. Dean P says he even broke a Jimmy rake. Yeah, we're gonna have to put that one on you, Dean. You're my boy, but you're my boy, but if you break Jimmy Long, man, it's definitely a you thing. So you just gotta get in the lighten up zone, bro. Some frustration in and out, so I'm not gonna tell you how to open locks. You open locks better than I do. Exactly, Brett Sucks. You're talking about tolerances. You're talking about the difference between a nun and a lady of the night. Damn, that's loud. Anyway, contrary to popular belief, Brett Sucks, when it comes to ladies, a lady of the night's tolerances are better than a nun's, because the more those muscles are used, the more they are able to have low tolerances. So just a fun factoid, if you're with a female with really good tolerances, she's probably not the only one who's getting those tolerances checked. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, keeping it polite and moving on. Mountain Mick is not going to go down that route any further. Western Massacre Locksport says, Dean, you should look into making tools for the handcuff stuff and save your picks for the little stuff. I agree with you there, Grits. Having some steak knives or something, maybe filed down so you can use them, would make for a stronger pick for you to not break. Thanks, Dad. So yeah, maybe use something thicker that you make yourself for that kind of stuff, and save your skinnier picks from all that abuse. Let's see. Brett's gonna take my word for it. I hear you, Brett. Mountain Mick does not encourage you to go try that out, Brett. Believe me. You might get a little bit of extra 31 on your pick than you bargained for, and better off sticking to your nun locks. That reminds me of a joke that I saw in a movie one time. The joke was that when you have a key that will open any lock, it's called a master key. When you have a lock that'll open with any key, it's a shitty lock. I've also heard that joke rehashed to where the answer is a master lock, which is obviously a jab at master themselves. But master, in my experience, has a wide variety of possible, locks that you can get from them. They're not perfect, but they've been in the game for a long time, and they know about, the average person's lock case use, and they know the difference between overkill for the sake of no reason on a lock that can just be snipped anyway, and they also know about making some super cheap bulky lock that is really impossible almost to pick, Not because it's well made, but the exact opposite, because it's poorly made. I don't know about you guys, but Mountain Mick has zero problem ripping his way through master number threes most of the time. Occasionally I'll have one that I can't get open for whatever crazy reason, but I can usually handle the master threes. Now on the other hand, these fives, we were in this conversation earlier on his live. There is a 5 and there is an M5. These, for anybody who was curious earlier, are the two locks in question. The 5 is a hardened shackle. It is basically an M1 keyed, just like the classic Master Lock number 3. It just offers a little more body weight and physical attack destruction resistance. But as far as picking goes, I think we all know about that. You know, you can go ahead and take any one of your turners, get it in here, get yourself like a triple mace rake, and this one's locked up. You can go to work on one of these 5s, and sorry guys, I was not trying. Let me actually put some effort into this. I think I've got the wrong one. That's the other thing about raking, guys. If one doesn't work, move on to another one. Sometimes it's just the rake that you're using isn't the right one. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go to the quint rake on this one. Check this out. Oh, actually, this isn't my number 5, is it? I've got 2 of these 5s now. One of them is harder than the other one for some reason. I haven't figured that out yet. But I got one of them recently from Nick Matlack. Nick Dean says he picks these on lives a lot because he's lazy. Can you do us a favor and rotate your head 360 degrees? That's funny, Jess Vids. No, I am not Linda Blair. And, oh, there we go. I'm not possessed by a demon. So I can't do the, I popped it there. But yeah, Mountain Mick's got Inferno, if you're still in the chat, I've got 2 of these now, so I need to get one of them over to you, sir. I know you told me that you wanted a yellow one. Well, Mountain Mick's got 2 yellow ones now, so if you're still in here, let me know, and I will get with you very soon to send you that one. Just Vid says, oh yeah, that was the turn my head one. Brett Sucks says Master Locks give a lot of YouTubers content, so they're doing a good service to the community. Yes, I agree. They get a lot of hate because of the fact that they usually open fairly easy. But I gotta tell you, man, I haven't spent a ton of time with this one yet, this M5. But let me just show you for the sake of the video, guys. I'll use the same kind of attack I was just using on the master number 5, and I haven't successfully got an open on this one yet. I saw Skip open one the other day, so I know that it's not impossible or anything. It's no revolutionary lock, but I've yet to open one of them just yet, so I'd have to give it a better review overall as a picker for security than the original the original Master number 5. It's so sloppy is what it is, though, guys. That's why I'm raking this thing right now, because as far as single pin picking goes, this lock is just mud, man. Like, I take a nice pick like this Reaper hook in here and stick it in here, and literally, like, no matter how I hold the pick and try to get a little purchase on it, I get a click here and there, and I haven't taken the time to give it a really serious try, but I was expecting, like most people, that this being a basic looking master lock, I'd have no problem just picking my way, flicking it open like I usually do with a master lock that looks like this. And it's from the Magnum series, so apparently it's got a little bit more mostly just the protection on the outside. And I'm not going to this thing. It's trying to eat my pick, but that's really what I brought it out to show you guys is the Master 5 is bulky, and for a good comparison, here is a Master number 3. So as you can see, it dwarfs its little brother or sister, the Master 3. The 5 is absolutely a pretty heavy compared to this one type of thing. Also, this is not a Master 3 here either. This is a Master number 1. The body is the same, but the core is a little different, I think. They are harder to pick than the 3 usually for me. I don't know what it is because nobody ever told me, but the Master number 1 for me is a more difficult pick than the Master 3. Now, the Magnum series, as I said, comes with a heavier everything here. Like the body is hardcore, the boron shackle, it's boron carbide instead of just steel, so it's a pretty tough thing. At any rate, that's what the masters are like in that respect. Let's see here what you guys are talking about. A steak knife pick. He told me it was like he's actually got a speed pick of the Packlock 90A Pro with it. He got it done in like 6 or 7 seconds or something with that steak knife. I think I ran everybody off with my master locks and my terrible signal, Dean, but it's okay. It's probably getting about dinner time for a lot of those people. And this was never a planned live anyway. Oh, wow. Back down to 2? I don't know who's still in here with me right now, but thanks, guys. I don't know what happened to everybody, but sorry, guys. Didn't mean to bore you or make you angry. I tried to warn you when we first got here that this was just a hangout. Delbert and Brett sucks. Well, thanks for you guys being here. I don't know if I glitched out or if somebody else started a live I should be hanging out in or what, but you guys can help me figure that out. I'm not trying to own all of the live space on YouTube or anything. Thanks, Yet. Glad to see you're here. Like I said, nobody is ever required to be here. It's not going to hurt my feelings, especially when I'm doing just, yeah, it's always a little off, Yet. That's kind of weird. But, like I said, the numbers can't always be counted on when you're watching these things. I hear that, DNP. Get your loaf of laundry squeezed in, dude. You're gonna need some clean clothes, baller. I'm just doing a little raking right now. Playing around with some of my other older locks. I'm gonna keep doing this type of thing for a little bit and hanging out with you guys. And I might go for anywhere from another 30 minutes to another hour. I don't think I'm gonna do a 4-hour stream this time. We're already at about 1:45 now, and as I said, this is really just me having a hangout that you guys are invited to hang out for. Doing a little bit of warm-up practice, because as I have told you, this is the matter at hand, and I'm going to go back at this thing probably with a greyhound dog leg and picking in hand, which I have not tried yet, but that's the approach I will be going for tonight. I'll be pairing a dog leg, doing it in hand, and I will most likely try to use one of these cool new Reaper turners, but bottom of keyway, because I've been doing a lot of Vice and top of keyway, and I really think that these Reapers with a bottom and either a dog leg or a Reaper pick I should be able to get some good stuff going on in there, and maybe finally get one of these open, because as you know, my blue belt and my 200K are only at the mercy of opening one of these things. So I won't be staying on live forever, because I'm really, really, really wanting to get this lock right here open. So I will be doing it very soon tonight. I will most likely try a combination of my dog leg and of something out of my Reaper, like the 3 or 4, maybe even the 1 if I bottom a keyway. It just depends. The situations will change, but I will try a few new attacks that I didn't have the availability to do before. I'm excited about that, and if I ever get that thing open, I'll be making a challenge lock, and I'll be then going sort of backwards to try and get this bucket list lock off of my bucket. This is my Abus 7440 Yale keyway. Oh, and I really want to get that thing picked as well, but for now, the matter at hand is my blue belt. Anyway, Brett says, you put your fresh, clean laundry in the bread bin, Dean. I've done some weird things like that before myself, Brett. My sister said living with kids is like that for her now. She said just the other day she found 3 or 4 items that she had. Hey, Mark Carter. She had 2 or 3 items that she had just got, like a new hairband thing, and a couple other items that she couldn't find, and she found them in the refrigerator. I guess my nephew put them in there, and she went on to say that something that should have been in the refrigerator or pantry area was in a drawer in her room or something crazy like that. So kids definitely will play around and move all your stuff. And so will drunk people, people on Xanax, and people who just have dissociative identity disorder or schizophrenia will also do these types of things to you. Well, not them, one of their personalities, but anyway, that's complicated. Rock out, Mark Carter. Glad you guys are here. Still just kind of hanging out, having a good time, doing a little warm-up practice. I'm going to take another hardcore run at this Packlock PL410 tonight. And I got a feeling that this weekend I can get that thing open if I really apply myself. So this is just me doing a little warming up and hanging out with you guys in the process. So thanks for coming over and kicking it with Mick. If anybody's got any questions for Mick, I will be happy to field any questions. We're getting really, really close to our 250. When we do hit our 250 sub, the moment I see that we hit it, I will be immediately going live. I will be celebrating, and I will be waving the green flag on our 250 sub giveaway to begin. Then I will start the Mick Magic Mountain clock to keep track of how long we run the competition. Got the lever fever. Oh, Lord. Yeah, lever fever is a serious addiction. It's also can be a really expensive one. I want to get into lever fever myself, Rock. So I'm living vicariously through you on the levers at the moment, sir. I'm sorry to hear that, Dean, and I'm very glad to be away from you while that's the case. I love you, brother, but you can keep that at your house. All right. But yeah, I was talking about turners earlier. Let me wrap up what I was thinking about those. So basically, I had mentioned having a bunch of windshield wiper ones that were not the greatest. Once you make it past about orange picking in hand, that's when you want to get some upgrades. But for just picking in hand on anything orange belt or lower, the tensioner one set, that's what it's designed for, and it is very effective for that. So, you know, again, with a lot of these tools, guys, it's really more about using them for their intended purpose. Imagine that, than expecting them to be an all wrench, all tool. Secret and fun if he only for happiness and good smiles. Mark Carter, he claimed to me that he had 7, and then his wife's accounts as well. So how much you want to believe Nola about that is between you and God. But Nola assures me in our last live meet that he has 7 accounts, and then his wife are also at his disposal, I imagine. So Nola can pop up in a lot of ways. Cloud the Great, thank you for coming and joining us, Cloud. I am mostly just picking around and sharing some ideas I have on turning tools and their importance. I have been picking around with these berserker boxes that my friend Jaded Argyle sent me in practice for my berserker run attempt. And I have also just been picking around on whatever random I pick up along the way while talking about this bunch of different turning tools that I can use, and my new Reaper that I've been using that Nick Matlack sent, as well as my new Greyhounds that I'm about to use one of, thanks to Delbert. So big shout out to all those people who make Mountain Mick one of the most spoiled guys in Locksport. You guys really have spoiled Mountain Mick. So for that reason, I try to thank you every single chance that I get to brag about you guys and your kindness and generosity. And yeah, for that reason, I will always be bringing you guys up when I pull these tools out, because not only does it make me think about you and appreciate you, it is a good way for me to continue showing appreciation and keeping the memory alive for myself of where I got all these very cool things. So anybody who has sent anything small to Mountain Mick since we started hanging out on lives and in Reddit and on the internet, etc., thank all of you. And in case anybody didn't know already, Mountain Mick can't show you all the pages because they're private information, but this is a diary that Mountain Mick's wife got him when we first met. She had a Sally version, of course, that I got for her. This is a Jack Skellington diary for a man type of thing, and in it has basically been turned into my official Mountain Mick Locksport address book. So for anybody who's ever sent me a package of any kind, big or small, you do have your address or return address in that book. And when Mountain Mick gets with Mr. Happy and gets some more of these sweet patches made up, I will be sending out some appreciation packs. They will have the patch. I will get some stickers made that match the patch. And I will also be getting some poker chips made, because where'd my chips go? I've got some down here, but I don't have one of my own yet, but I will have one of my own, because our dear friend Mr. Happy designed one. And yes, again, he does most of it with AI, and it's not super hard to accomplish. But these are some of mine that are actually my personal ones that people have given to me. And I think it's a really cool token to send your friends so we can all trade and share. And I will be having some Mountain Mick ones made up. And they will feature on one side my classic logo designed for me by Red Bridge Butcher back in the day, about a month ago. And the other side will be the very cool design that Mr. Happy whipped up for me of the Mountain Mick rubber ducky. So you will have both logos on the poker chip when I get it made. He's already got them developed and ready to go. All of this stuff will be basically produced and sent to me and ready to ship the moment I get another burst of donation money from anybody interested in that, or the moment I get back to work and get to Florida where I can make some money. I will be investing much more of my own money into the channel. On that note, I will also be mentioning again that I do have a laptop coming for improving of the channel, so that's something for everyone to look forward to. I will start using Restream full time whenever I get that, and for that reason I will have a lot of new cool stuff to show you. My channel will look a lot more professional and polished. Always worked with me on improving the quality at Mountain Mick. He is my production manager at this point, as well as merchandising guru, and I'm very blessed and happy to have him as a friend, wearing all those hats for me in his spare time to help me out, because I don't have enough spare time to accomplish all those things, and I'm nowhere near as good at it as he is. At any rate, I will have some made soon. There will be some patches and cool stuff. I'm going to get one of those rubber stamps too with the ink pad, so I can put some Mountain Mick logos on my papers that I send out, because when you do receive something from Mountain Mick in the future, you will be receiving it with a handwritten letter from Mountain Mick to you. And I will also probably include a typed up letter, because Mountain Mick is a mechanic. He, much like doctors and lawyers, has some weird handwriting that you may not really understand all of. So I will send you the handwritten one to keep the classic personal touch to it, and I will send you a copy of whatever I write typed up, so that you can actually read it without difficulty. And on both, I will have a nice Mountain Mick stamp. So lots of big plans for the future. We're getting this close. Sorry guys, every time something moves in the house, I guess I'm working on it. But anyway, I do like ducks and the Jeep Dash stuff to rock out. The ducks are everywhere these days because of that. And Arby's, one of my local Arby's, has ducks as part of a donation for the children that they have set up. So I also like to buy them from them, which is where I got these two little guys, because they were, I think, $2 each, which I think is a genius thing, by the way. They most likely get one of these 50 packs from a dollar store or somewhere for a few dollars, and what they do is resell them individual item wise, and all the proceeds from the ducks go into buying a new bag of ducks, which probably 2 or 3 ducks pays for the whole 50 pack, and then every other duck that gets sold is money that gets sent to the charity that they have it tied to, which I think is a genius idea, a great way of raising money and getting donations while still offering people something cool and collectible to show for their donation. And that's the type of marketing that Mountain Mick likes. You know, when you give something back to people for helping out, no matter how big or small the token gesture is, people really will come out for you for things that they want to support, especially if it involves getting some cool little swag with it for doing so. So I promote this type of idea. I think anybody who's into anything can adapt simple things like rubber duckies into what you do, and poker chips into what you do. So I would recommend all those types of things. Find yourself a cool supplier for these type of things. Mr. Happy, for anyone curious, Mr. Happy and I are currently using Zazzle.com for the supplying of these type of things. However, there are tons of good companies. I've been approached actually on Facebook by one or two. I didn't see that coming, but I did have a company or two approach to produce more stuff for you guys. Started to have a few places like I won't mention names yet because I'm not involved with anybody, but I recently also had a pre-workout slash energy drink type of place approach me, asking me about being a brand ambassador and helping move some of their stuff on my channel. At the moment, Mountain Mick, of course, is fielding all offers from places to do this type of thing, but because I am still very new to this and very much in the infancy of my channel, I'm also very much watching my own back, being sure not to walk into any deals that sign away any of my own personal rights to do growth or lose, potential money gain, or to do anything that I don't feel applies to promoting a good thing to you guys, because I am not a snake oil salesman. I will not ever be tied up with somebody who I don't promote something that they make. And if I'm working for a company and they're making mostly great stuff, and then they come out with something that I won't, then I will possibly stop working with because I am not a snake oil salesman. As I said, guys, I don't think that many people really even care what Mountain Mick does, says, etc. But in the event that they do, I'm very much aware of certain things and making sure that I don't tie myself to things that are unwholesome or lots of other reasons. But let's just say that if Mountain Mick is going to continue to do this, he would rather be massively unknown and have a lot of great friends like you guys here hanging out with him than to be known by the world over but not able to enjoy life and have fun or to talk to his friends. So it's something that I'm interested in, but something that still must be done in my way to an extent, because at the end of the day, the brand, quote unquote, I use the term very loosely because Mountain Mick is just me. We don't have employees or anything crazy like that. When I say we, I mean me, y'all. So I guess all I'm trying to say is, if we get to the point of growth and development where it becomes a real we situation, I just want to have the foundation firmly laid already, and for everybody to have a good idea of the moral dealings that Mountain Mick will require from any person, entity, or company that wants to be involved with me. So, yeah. Anyway, Lock Sporters for life. Exactly, Mark Carter. Lock Sport and Lock Sporters at the end of the day is what I'm here for. Community, love with our friendship, and hanging out with you guys, having a good time, and playing with my toys is what I enjoy about this. And we must never lose that. So, my numbers are still jumping up and down as people eat dinner and follow their way in and out. I'll probably still hang out for about another 20 or 30 minutes and then go do the same thing myself. I'm getting a little hungry and I don't want to take up all the airspace for the night. Delbert, are you still thinking about you and the labs doing some stuff tonight, or has that been moved or canceled? I'm just curious, brother. Also, since I've got it out anyway, I'm just going to show my cool night watch patch again. Sorry I missed your night watch broadcast, Delbert. You know I got nothing but love for you, buddy. I'm going to make it up to you. I just was too tired, and I honestly blanked completely on it. I forgot you were doing it, and I will do better next time, sir. My bads. So, let's see. I was talking about Turners. So let me finish my little spiel on Turners for anybody who's an actual full episode watcher. Dean, Mark, Delbert, and Yin Yet. Of course, the usual suspects. All my real deal, whole close inner circle good guys. Dean says, I lost my cipher pick set I use on handcuffs, locked, and no one clue where they're at. Bummer. Cloud the Great is still with us. He's on a long drive, and he is just hanging out and listening, I guess. That's all right, Cloud. You are welcome to kick it at your leisure, brother. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to see if I can get this little Brinks lock open with one of my maces real quick, and continue to chat and hang with you guys. Where did my maces go? Oh, they're both in there. I'm sorry. I'm just miscounting. So, yeah. Mountain Mix still talk about Turners. That's what we're on here. There we go. See, that's what I love about these. If you pick the right mace, it only takes a minute to get your open. And I mean literally seconds. I used the mace with the worm profile on it just now. It is a smoother version of a triple peak, which is why it's called a worm. It also, as you can see, comes with the dog-eared side of the mace, which is good for top of keyway tensioning. So in a bind, your maces are very versatile and can be used for the tension turning as well as the picking, which is one of the reasons I really love having these in an EDC kit. Delbert says, where you headed? And Brett Sucks says, forward, onward and upward. Right, Delbert? That's how it's got to be, right, Brett Sucks? Onward and upward. Never backward, sir. We don't turn around. I'm going to pick a guard security itty bitty lock really quick. And for it, I will be using a size 20 dog leg. Let's see if I can get this little mama open real quick. And I will continue to talk about Turners after. Or in the middle of it, depending on how long it starts taking. Oh, it already gave up. Nice job, dog leg. So yeah, the dog legs, for anybody who hasn't experienced a dog leg yet, you're missing out. My buddy Delbert got me this set of dog legs for like just over $10. You can get yourself a set of dog legs that will be 3 picks. They are basically, to put it simply, a reach pick with a monkey paw notched style tip on the end. And if you would prefer not to have the dip in the low reach, then what you're going to want is called an elephant trunk. An elephant trunk I don't have yet, but just for the sake of conversation, this is a monkey paw original, and the elephant trunks are made that way. They have a straight shaft instead of the reach dip in it. I was talking with Skip the other day about the divot in the pick itself. This is nothing new, as me and him were talking about. Did upon a time, but the monkey paw on this side and dog leg beside it here, not really easy to see on this crappy camera. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, we're gonna fix that soon. We're gonna have a better bunch of kit to work with. But at any rate, the little notch is something that you can add yourself, and for that reason, never, you know, discount the idea of getting an itty bitty file out and putting a notch in there yourself. Cloud the Great says he is headed to Rocklahoma, a concert. Ooh, that sounds great, Cloud the Great. Who's playing? Who's playing at that one, Cloud? Is that one of the heavier ones with like Mudvayne and that tour that's going now, or is it more of a classic rock tour? Let your boy Mick know. I love concerts, my guy. Just curious who you're getting to go see this time. Also, Skip pointed out to me that Greyhound put a really well manufactured notch in the dog legs. He actually has the elephant trunks, and I have the dog legs, which is why I know that both of them are effective and have that notch in a very similar way. We were talking today, I believe, about it, and I think both of us, it's safe to say, would probably spring for the dog legs over any of the other offerings. As a hardcore Sparrows man, I love my monkey paw, and I don't consider it to be the exact same thing as what Greyhound's created, but it has its place in my set, and so does Dogleg. The Dogleg does a really fine job gripping the bottom of the pin, like basically because it's made to sit on top of the center of the flat spot, and that's why you are able to get such a great lift out of a dog leg, because you don't slide off the pin forward, backward, sideways. It literally just hugs that little mama, and that gives you the ability to lift it. And having the low reach swoop in it is what makes it also very attractive to me, because if you go at an aggressive downward angle, you can get in there and sneak under some stuff and then get your way up in there. The new heavies, or I'm sorry, the heavies are a little bit meatier all the way through the pick profile, but they also look great for bullion locks. I will have to try them out. And Greyhound and Broke Picks, good buddies of mine, both of them. Broke is a great guy, and he has consulted with many pick makers before. If you don't know Broke Picks, make sure you check out his channel. I was co-host guest appearance recently on Broken Rune, him and Runesmith's podcast, and I really had a good time doing that. Also, for anybody who doesn't know, let me go ahead and re-mention, I was set up with Lockpicker 1969. He does a series of interviews with lockpickers and lock sporters, and that's the wrong book. I need my schedule book, not my address book. Come on, Mick. So the schedule book has all kinds of good notes in it, like the times from the first one, the rules for the second contest, list of different private pick makers, and a to-do list for me that I need to check and see how I'm doing with. And it also has all the times as soon as I can to Elroy's Toys and to the Lock Guy, who both have been immensely patient with Mick. Mick has both of their packages ready to go. I just haven't been able to get by the post office with some money and send them out to them, because being a unemployed guy with no personal transportation has set me back just a little bit. Now, when I get back to Florida in less than a month, I will be in a much better position, because they have lots of public transport. I have a lot more real friends, than I have here, and I'll be able to get around a little bit better when I get back there. So then I'll be working again, and I'll have money for lock sport stuff, and I will send all kinds of goodies to all the patient people who have been waiting, as well as long before I get there, I will have sent these packages out to the two of them for winning Mick's first contest. So again, thank you to both of them for your patience. But what I was coming to bring up just now is, as you can see on Mick's calendar here, um, the 31st of this month, which is literally the Sunday of this weekend. today's Friday, isn't it? Or is it Saturday?
It is Sunday. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Sunday morning, 8 p.m., or I'm sorry, 8 a.m., I have a little date lined up to talk to Lockpicker 1969 and do either my interview or the pre-interview process. I am not 100% sure which he has in mind. He told me that he is low on content lined up right now, so I told him that I do not need a massive amount of preparation, only for him to be comfortable and have preparation will be necessary from my stance. So I told him that we could go straight into it unprepared, or that we could prepare and do it the same day. I'm just trying to help A, get him some content produced rapidly, and B, to get it out to you guys as quickly as possible. Because when I did co-host with Broke Picks, he has already done an interview. It's a Discord server channel for all of you who are possibly interested. And I believe also, if I'm not mistaken, that Lockpicker 1969 has a YouTube channel of the same name that will show all of those interviews. I'll have to double check that to be sure, guys. But at any rate, I will be getting on there and doing an interview with him soon. Broke Picks and some of the other guys I know have already done said interview for themselves, and I am very much looking forward to sharing some of the Mountain Mix story with all of you via Lockpicker 1969 and his series of Lock Sport interviews. I'm actually very honored to be doing that. And I believe our good friend Cheese Grits NyQuil, also known as Western Massacre Lock Sport, will be doing his very soon. And I think Wild Billiam may have been lined up to do some too. So definitely a lot of good ones to look forward to. Anybody who is newer, I would also recommend that you get with Lockpicker 1969 sometime in the near future, because it's a good way to get exposure and to let everybody know more about you personally as a picker. And exposure is asks you if you'd like to appear on there live, or if you'd like to do an interview, or if you'd like to do, any working with them on something. I would advise you to get in there, dude. Meet all the people that you can. Network, network, network. That's what Mountain Mick is about. I enjoy the networking aspect of this whole hobby as much as any other part of it. And I didn't even expect that to be part of this hobby. So I've really enjoyed making a bunch of new friends. I am a social butterfly. I do love meeting new people and doing whatever I can to help them and to allow them to help me. And I mean mostly knowledge and experience. Now, anything beyond that is a bonus in a friendship, but you don't have to buy things for me or send me things to be my friend. I would never want anyone to feel that way. Mountain Mick appreciates anything you send to Mountain Mick. However, it is not necessary that you do that for me to very highly regard you and our friendship, okay? Your friendship is what I'm after in the end. Show up, support me. I will show up and support you. That's what friends do. Let's see what you guys are saying. Somebody said, Brett, you suck. He says, I know I was born that way. Of course Brett sucks, Delbert. Did you not read his screen name? I believe you had ample warning from the man's handle alone that he does in fact suck. Now, what he does after sucking is between him and whoever or whatever he is sucking. But I will not go further down that road out of politeness. So, to finish my talk about turners that I've been having on and on in my new set that we're building, are these two. This one on the right, which is probably on your side, still the right. This one. This is the double-sided from the good old FNG set. It does work well. Top of keyway, which is one of the reasons I love it. The short side top of keyway works really good. Even picking in hand. I think it's a 40. Yeah, it says .040 on there. And yeah, that's one of the reasons that make it nice too. Covered Instrument, Law Lock, and a couple other companies, they put a little extra love into their turners, and that's one of the reasons that they are so high quality. Also, Greyhound, who makes the dog legs, is paired up with Southern Specialties. So if you do want some dog legs and you've got a little more money than the $10 required to get them, I would recommend you go ahead and get, oh, my CI pick snuck in there. I would recommend to you to go ahead and get either set that you like of the dog legs or feel that you want of the dog legs, whether it be the standard like I have or the heavier ones, which are still the same thickness, etc., because you get one of each size thickness out of the 3-pack. What I mean by that is you will be getting a 25, a 20, and a 16. Or, if you prefer the metric sizes instead of inches, you will be getting a .4, 5, and 6. The difference is not in the thickness between heavy and regular dog legs. The difference is in the profile of the and the rest of the shaft. So if you're a heavy-handed picker, maybe you want to think about getting the heavies instead. I asked Delbert to send me the standard ones because I do a lot of European keyway picking thanks to my friend Neil W. in the UK, and I do a lot of paracentric nightmare stuff like this Abus 7440 with the Yale keyway, and for that reason I thought it best, if I was only going to start with one, to start with the standard dogs. So, I do love my dog legs. I appreciate Greyhound for making these and Delbert for sending them my way. What I was trying to get to tell you is if you get the Greyhound set for beginners as opposed to just ordering the picks, what will you get then? Well, my friend, I'm glad you asked. Instead of just these three, you will get a Chaos rake, one that I don't have yet, but it is made by Southern Specialties, and Greyhound, who is not much of a raker, enjoys using that rake, so it must be pretty effective, because when I hear a non-raker say that they like rake, that is a light bulb for me. There must be something special about that rake that he likes, and I've seen many people use it, so it must be pretty effective. Now, can somebody confirm to me that the chat is still working? I haven't seen a chat message pop up here in a minute, and I just want to make sure that it's still flowing, guys. But anyway, I'm going to get the Chaos rake. You will also get all of it in a lovely leather snap shut case from Southern Specialties, and for the moment, until Greyhound produces his own symbol to add, it will also have the beautiful eyeball with a keyhole in it logo that Southern Specialties uses. Again, if anybody in the chat can just drop a letter or a number or just anything to let me know if that's still working. I don't have any chat recently in the last minute or so, and I'm making sure I didn't totally lose you guys from the chat. Maybe I did. If so, Delbert or somebody, if you could send me a private message to reassure me that it is the chat screwed up. I'm not going to be on much longer. I just wanted you to confirm for me while I'm wrapping up this little Turner's piece. So, basically, if you get the dog legs, what I wanted to tell you is you will also get your chaos rake and your snap case, but you will get the Longhorn set from Southern Specialties in the package. So the Longhorns are very much like this one that I like from the FNG that I showed you guys, and I'm as I haven't used yet myself, but they look really nice. They're bigger than this one that I'm holding. They have a color-coded marker on them, so you can do the quick glance grab. And I believe they all have the sizes etched too, but I'm not positive. I do know they look like a really nice Turner set that I've wanted to add to my own kit, and for that reason, to supplement my own dog legs, I will be getting the heavy dog legs starter set so that I can get the Longhorns, the snap pouch, the other dog legs, and all of that good stuff. It would be a better way for me to acquire it than buying it individually. Now, to finish talking about Turners, so I can wrap this live up here, I don't know what happened to my chat. I've still got 5 people here, but I don't have any new chat popping up on my screen, so I don't know if it just crashed out or if everybody's busy or not talking. Anyway, I am going to finish my talk about Turners, and then I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. So, Turners that I like, as I told you, managed to end up being these two after the early days. I like this one that came in the Mace 2 set. It's really well machined. It has a really good dog-eared style with teeth, top of keyway. And I used just this one on a ton of stuff for a long time because it works great in hand and especially in vise. Now, of course, I also loved the FNG. I've mentioned that one a handful of times. I want to move on from those so I can show you the rest really quick and we can get this thing. That Mountain Mick now uses the most, and the ones that he would recommend to a new person getting when they're ready to upgrade from their standard Turner 1 set. As I said, the Turner 1 set will work really good for you when you're starting out, and it will take you all the way up to green belt probably without too much issue. When you start picking green and blue belt locks, you will need to start getting a vise. A cheap one like my Harbor Freight one that is currently holding the camera is all you really need. Mountain Mick highly suggests the Harbor Freight Central Machinery vacuum bottom vise. I got mine on sale for $16, but regular price is only $19.99. It is a great little vise. It's got a really good heavy base. But by heavy base, I mean the whole thing only weighs a couple few pounds, guys. It's not a monstrous vise. It's still good for portable carrying around a vise to take somewhere with you. Alright, G Keyman says my live chat is still working. So I'm going to finish up the chat. I'm sorry, I'm going to finish up the live, but the guys in the chat can still see each other's chat, so I'm glad that you guys are at least able to interact with each other. Mountain Mick is going to finish talking about Turners and probably wrap this one up, and hopefully Delbert or somebody will have another live going. As I said, one set open until some vice in your life. I would still recommend practicing both vice and in hand because there's multiple reasons love one or the other. And just like the difference between picking versus raking, it's a different style altogether. And the more versatile you make yourself, the more options you will have for lock opens. Keeping in mind that picking for fun at home with a vise is a good professional way of going about it and having a lab scenario. However, you can use it as a good way to imitate having a door and putting certain kick cylinders in. So you won't be able to pick certain things in hand very well. You can pick a mortise cylinder in hand, but it's better to have like the Sparrow's Scepter or one of those little ball trophies that they have that hold it. Both of those are threaded so you can screw a mortise like one of the Covert instrument locks into it. Covert also has that really cool board that they make where it has the mortise in the center and then has a bunch of pop-ins for other kicks to fit in. I think both of those are really good training options, and as usual, I like to promote both a Sparrows option and a Covert option because when I don't, people start getting divisive on me and thinking that I am a hater. So I actually love both, and while I am attempting to work with and for Sparrows, I think that for the moment it's still okay for me to tell people that yes, Covert is a good company. I lots of good advice on how to represent myself and a company, and Covert offers a ton of great tools that I enjoy as well. So, in wrapping up with the spirit of that in mind, I was telling you guys, you will get a vise and start picking in a vise and still be doing some practice in hand. Now, when you are doing that, you're going to want, as you have with your picks, to expand so you have more options and better options to fit a variety of locks and still get that all necessary feedback that you need to actually successfully pick it. So the best way to accomplish this is having a large variety of stuff, but even if you can't have a large variety, what is good is to have a small variety of highly effective, versatile ones, okay? And that's what I want to show you now. So, as I mentioned before, my mace set is always with me, everyday carry. So I'm always going to have this beautiful mace turner that they included in that set. Thank you, and a shout out to Walt Cade for the 3D printed case. He will make and send anybody one of these. He will not charge you for it. All you have to do is get with Walt and send him a self-addressed stamped envelope for him to pop it into for you. He also makes the little beads now that go in the back of Jimmy Longs. He will hook you up with your Jimmy beads. And he also, I never have one of them out here when I'm trying to talk about him, but he also has the slip-on 3D print that will fit the talked about before. I like to carry mine. I used to have it in the little pouch in the back of my phone. It will fit in your wallet really well. You can get one of the Sparrow's red stash patches to keep it. It will fit in there. Or you can also fit a handful of extra turners like the ones from Mace Kit 1 in the Sparrow's stash patch. That is not how I carry mine anymore. That was the initial idea. But because I was blessed to get this Reaper and blessed by Walt to get this 3D print case, the card slides perfectly into any of the Covert cases if you want to pair them up and carry them as part of your EDC the way I do. So, that being said, you'll have your mace case, you'll have your mace turner, and then in the front, naturally, you'll have a small array of really good pick sizes that are all 20. I added my quint from the FNG, so there would be a rake option in there with my Reaper of a full-size rake. I could as well have added a 25 from the FNG in there, but I like to have some space, so I didn't. Not to mention, as I told you earlier, the Reaper number 3 is essentially the same. It's just instead of a 25. You know, do what you want with your own kit in the discretion of that, because there's a lot of good options for you there, and I'm just showing you guys how mine is built. So, for EDC, I carry my mace kit in the Reaper. I carry my Reaper with no handles, and I have a quint rake from the FNG stuck in there with them. Now, since this has all really been more about turners, of course, since I have my Reaper, I've got all these sweet Reaper turners that I haven't shown off yet. For anybody who's unfamiliar with Reaper turners, let me first introduce you. Excuse me. Let me first introduce you to the bottom of keyway, top of keyway, double-sided ones, which is a very popular and favorite option of my own. I have really got to love these particular ones, and I'm going to pull back out the one from the FNG set just to show you the difference in length. But these things, guys, this is what quality turners look like, okay? I don't know what you've got in your kit right now, but Covert Instrument and Law Lock Tools, as well as probably the Longhorns, but I'd have to try them first to be sure. When I look around at what's available from who, Multipick has a very similar lineup. Law Lock has a similar lineup, and Moki have a very similar lineup, all of which I would like to acquire. But Covert, for people on this side, is a good place to get your turning tools from. Okay, so this is the one from the FNG. I'm sorry, that's just a regular Sparrows one that looks pretty similar. So as you can see, this tensioner one's not that far off base when it comes to this. But I would have to say that this one from the FNG is my favorite of that type, and it has a nice good length on it. These are a little shorter, the ones from the Reaper. But as I've often told you guys, something I learned as a mechanic, you will run into different case use purposes. So sometimes you're going to want a longer one. Other times you're not going to have room for a longer one, and you'll be really happy you've got the short ones. All right? And then in a bind, I suppose you could get some wiper blades and fashion your own on the fly. But to further show off the Reapers really quick, it's got all the earmarks of a high quality product, guys, which is no surprise to me since Covert made them. It has the CI logo. Let me get something behind this for you to see it better. They have the CI logo etched in one side. Two of them have the cutaway in the top of keyway side that allows you more room. The thickest one, which is the 50, does not have the cutaway. But you will notice that they knew that, and oops, that's the wrong one. They noticed, and in place of providing you with the cutaway, they offered instead. Oh, the wife is calling. We will call her right back. Sorry, honey. Close. Let me turn it the right way. They've put some really, really good teeth on the one that doesn't have the dip in it. So that thing with the teeth in it, sorry, my other camera's better. I'll show it to you again when I can get it up and rolling. But the teeth in this thing are really grooved, really going to grab, and they really machined that well. So you've got the option of all those really good top of keyways on the double-sided ones in the Reaper kit. Two with a dip. They have all three sizes that are the most popular. a 32, a 40, and a 50. All three of the sizes are etched on there in plain letter and numbering so you can see them. Again, my camera's not going to want to focus good for you to see them, and that's okay. We'll deal with that another day. But as you can tell, there are not just different widths cut in them, which there are. They also they took advantage of both. Okay, the tips are wider and smaller, but the thickness itself of the metal is also thicker and slimmer. So you get yourself a 32, you get yourself a 40, which is like the same size as the FNG one I showed you, and then you get a 50. And on both, I'm sorry, all three, you will also have on the opposite side the bottom of keyway. Only these bottom of keyways, as I pointed out earlier in the broadcast, are swooped. They have a little extra swoop bend in them, as you can see on this one. And I'm sorry, I glitched again, guys. We're almost done here. A place to set your finger when you're doing the bottom or top of keyway. You would only have your finger over here when doing top of keyway because this is the bottom of the side. However, when you're doing bottom of keyway, that little swoop comes in handy because it sits lower in the lock. Let me show you what I mean. A standard one without the swoop, and this is a covert as well. The standard one without a swoop is going to sit in there up high like this, all right? If you use one of the Reaper ones with the swoop instead, this is more of what you're going to be looking at. See how it's a little more out of the way from that little dip that's in the end there? That makes a big bunch of difference. That is a mile when it comes to working on locks. So it hugs it in a different spot and kind of clears the keyway out for even more room. Genius, okay? Also, having three sizes of actual thickness available to you means that when you're picking a lock like an 1100, it is widely known that the 1100 being picked at top of keyway is a good way to sling a bunch of your tools when it comes to your wrenches. So if you will use a 50 instead, which is the big fat one, the 50 fits perfectly top of keyway in an 1100. Look at that. The 50 doesn't have room to jiggle around in there. That is what you want, guys. You don't want to have it sloshing around up in there. That leads to more falling out and way less feedback. The big one that fills the hole, that is what you want. And it's still got a little play in this case. But as you can see, even with the short Reaper, it fits very well in an A1100. And Mick has huge hands. So knowing that I'm still, as you can see, not at a full extension of my finger, which is massive, but I am not struggling with it having shortness issues. It's not like I've got my finger bent like this at a 90-degree angle. That would be too short. But for anybody who tells you that the Reapers are short, they are shorter. But again, I wear double XL size gloves, and I gotta tell you, they feel good at the angle they are at, and I get not that much fatigue because of it. Now, what I also wanted to show off really quick before moving to the other turners is that they have the little quick gaze holes drilled into them. So if you're in a place where you can't see the etching or you're having problems with that, it's very simple, guys. What they've done for you, which is a genius idea, is they have just drilled a few little holes in there for you. So as you can see against my white shirt here, the 32 is going to have one little hole in it. When you go up to the 40, it's that really helps on quick grab identification to show you which one you're grabbing. which can be difficult without those. They have done the same thing with the flat bars, and I want to say that to save us time, because I got to wrap this thing, guys. We're almost at 3 hours, and I got to shut this thing down. So these are the very, very, very popular Reaper flat bars, all right? I myself really hated using flat bars until I found these and the Sparrows ones that I'm about to show you as well. These are a little artsy looking, the way they cut all of these swoops and designs into it, but make no mistake, every one of those little swoops has a good reason for being there, okay? The ones here hold it flat against the face of the core when you're in there, and it makes a really good step against it, and it's sharp and back curled pointy, which really makes it grab on good. If you look at the top of each one of them up close, every single one has got the teeth on the edge of both sides. So these things are massively grippy. They will hold their way up in there no matter how you have them. So you can have them upside down and use them at bottom of keyway, the way I would do with my maces, like I saw. If you do it this way, in the top of keyway, you will have a massive wide open keyway for you to get your pick in and for you to do your best work getting this lock open. Now, that is excellent because my Jimmy Long, with quite a bit of gem hook on it here, is able to get in this 100 now, or I'm sorry, 1100 now. And obviously I'm not putting a lot of effort into this, so if it flings open, you'll see me do a little dance. But you can really get great feedback through these because of how thick they are, okay? Brittle and flexy is not what you want in a tensioner or turner. The thicker that you can fit in there is what you're going to want, because thickness and brittleness translate energy, aka feedback. So get the biggest thing you can in there, and it will give you the dividends that you're looking for. Just like with the others, you are going to get a 32 and a 40 and a 50, guys. And all very well made looking, because they are well made. The steel is the 301 high yield that everybody wants. And I gotta say, guys, I always suspected and was told that these were some high quality turners, and without a doubt, they indeed are. I really feel comfortable using these shelf cases. Is exactly what I love. You should always have the option to buy everything one piece at a time, like Johnny Cash song, one piece at a time. So I like that, and this particular set cannot be bought, quote, end quote, one piece at a time, but that's okay, because they do charge a decent price for just the turners. You don't have to buy the entire Reaper set to get the turners, but because of how high quality the profiles in the Reaper are, all in 20, and because of the really cool case that's going to also fit an RFID card or a mace card, or one of those hall pass lever slipper cards. It's just a really good option for EDC especially. To finally try and get to the last part and wrap this thing up, this is the last one I wanted to recommend as well. The Sparrows Curved Turner Set. Alright, I got it just before my Reaper. And until I had my Reaper, I already was telling people that if I had got these initially and known all the ways I could use them in hand and in vice, ergonomically, top and bottom of keyway, I would have had no problem tossing out everything I own or never buying it. curved turner set, they would have a fine set of turners. And if I were to add anything to that that didn't already exist in my set, what I would request would be the Longhorn set that you can get from Greyhound, okay? Because those are double-sided Z-bars that are super long instead of short. And that would fill the only hole that I really have here. They're really high quality. They have all three sizes, and they are marked as such. So I will be getting them in my dog leg kit that I get. But let me show you the Sparrows kit so we can finish this thing off. Alright guys, so if you get the Sparrows curved kit, what are you going to get? Well, first of all, it comes in this really smart little webbed case here. And if you look closely, my camera is not going to help, but the button itself says Sparrows on it. So it does have a little Sparrows design quality on it, but it has been left naked otherwise. Now, why am I bringing this up? It's just a Turner case, right? No, it is not just a Turner case. It comes that way, yes. However, there is a pretty decent size amount in there if you get it opened up the way I'm showing it right now. And I have seen many of my EDC friends manage to sneak all kinds of other goodies in here. My maces that I show could very easily live in a case like this. You could have a backup compass. What are you going to get in Mountain Mick? Well, first of all, it's called. You're going to get the curved Turner set. See these babies? They are similar to the Ergo Turners from Covert. I don't have those yet. I still want them, but I want the single-sided ones because they are longer like the Longhorns set, and they seem to look very good for in vise and in hand. Now, that being said, I really personally enjoy the curve of these more than I thought I was going to. I'll show you one of them in the American in a second, but I just wanted to quickly point out that much like the Reaper that I really enjoy, Sparrows did take the time on these to do all the nicer things, no corner cutting. It does have Sparrows etched across each one of them. It also does have the size etched right beside that. It's easier to see off camera, guys. The light in here is not good for it. The camera's crap. But trust me, you can look at the site or your own when you get them. It's very easy to see in real life. So it says Sparrows. You get a 0.8 and a 1.0 and a 1.2. So I'm pretty sure that by comparison, I'd have to double check with somebody. But I got a pretty good idea that that's the same kind of thing that you're getting in the Reaper sizes. It is just the alternate form of measurement. But I will move on so I can finish here. You'll get the curved ones, and the reason I like them is because they are long, okay? Because I noticed, showed you guys that the ones in the Reaper are all short, of both short and long for many reasons. And you will get all three sizes in the curved. They are all etched and have the sizes on them. You could even put something on them to help you even more so visually. I would even say that if I could get a hold of a nice little drill and a tiny bitty itty bitty bit, I would do the same thing that Covert did with theirs. I would go ahead and put 1 dot, 2 dots, and 3 dots in these bad boys, which I will do at some point. Now, I want you to see that much like the 50 from the Covert set, this 1.2 in the curved the curved set. I always want to say Ergo because it is an ergonomic set, but technically that's the name of the other Covert ones, so I try to stray away from it for the purposes of differentiation. The curved Turner set from Sparrows, the curved have a really good ergonomically pleasing wave to them as opposed to a flat. I like the way my finger lands in the spot of the curve, and it is double-sided, so you can switch it to where either you have kind of a flatter experience, or you can have it the other way and get your really deep bend on there for your turning. Now, I just want to finish in also mentioning that they have the flats as well. Even though it's called the curved turners set, they did include one of each of these. It is a knurled flat. Cool flat bar, works good in the vise, not as well in hand. But this thing blows it away, guys. This Sparrow's from the curved turner blows it away. Why, Mountain Mick? Because it's made with better thicknesses. It is labeled and laser etched. And most importantly, besides the length difference being even a little bit longer for your long ones you want, look at the tops here, guys. This is the major difference. You're going to get little teeth on the flat bar etched. They work, but they don't work as good as the little teeth on the Reaper set in my personal experience. Except when you're in a vise, they work pretty good. However, the ones from the curved set instead all have this really deep notch cut in them. You see those notches, guys? Those notches are the business, okay? That is the gospel of Sparrow's Turner right there. I don't think I like any Turner in the world more than I like this set because of the deep notch in those. It really does make a huge difference on a lock, especially hand picking it, where you're not going to fling it out of there a lot. It is thick, it sits in there great, and dude, it really does with that notch in there. It's a new, more than I'm now. If I had me from the future come through a time machine and say, stop, Mountain Mick, don't order all of those, order this instead. You're going to love these the most. It'll cover everything you could possibly need. Just go ahead and save yourself tons of time and frustration and a little bit of cash. Not a lot, but a little bit. And get these instead. It's going to make your whole lock-picking experience better. What future me would have been telling me is absolutely what I believe to this day. And that is that if past me had known to just get himself this beautiful Sparrow's curved set and these Reaper set of Turners, and then maybe a Longhorn set, he would have been completely set up for Turners, 100,000,000%. Now, as I said, my EDC kit, for anyone curious about that, is what I will show really quick and then sign out, because I'm still out of chat. I want to get on with the night and see some other things, and I got to eat dinner and watch some football. But the Reaper set is with me every day since I've had it. My mace kit has been with me every day since I had it. Now they live together in harmony, the way Sparrows and Covert can live in harmony in your tool set. If you can overcome the tribal ways of some people, you can really enjoy the finest of all. So, I have my mace tucked away in there, and I carry it normally in one pocket. In my other pocket, I have my knife. Got it for $10 at Walmart, okay? So, get yourself a folding, really good steel knife for $10. You can't beat that deal. And when you sharpen a little more yourself like I did you're going to have a great knife. Okay. I also have a little waterproof thing Dean sent me with some matches and some other goodies in it for EDC. I won't be showing that right now. This is about picking. But so basically, I got my knife, I got my Reaper in one pocket, and in the other pocket, I've got my Sparrow's curved set, and naturally my Sparrow's Escort. My Escort, very soon I will get all the goodies that go with it from Uncle Sparrow's. I will get the Monkey Paw upgrade, the Tron, and a couple of other ones that I would like to add to this thing. I'm not sure how I'll end up having it set up, but what I do know for sure is I don't have an offset hybrid, I don't have a half diamond, and I don't have a city rake in any other part of my kit. So I'll probably get all three of those in regulars before I'm over with it. But for right now, I would replace the regular one with a Monkey Paw. Would keep the city rake because I don't have one of those yet. I would really find it hard to get rid of the worm or the triple. But since I do have my maces for backup on both of those profiles, I'd be willing to go ahead and swap them for something else. And of course, it's got the little turner in it that comes in it. Again, this is just a little wiper insert one, but it just comes down to having good profiles there. Everything in my Escort is a 25 size. Everything in the Reaper is a 20 size. So, as you can see, that leaves me very well set up for 25s and 20s with all the great turner options I could ever want. And it will all sit in my pocket about this big, guys. One pocket with one, the other pocket with the other. I barely even noticed this stuff's there. And compared to carrying all my kit with me, which is very impractical, it has been a dream having all of these together. So guys, that's all Mountain Mick's got for you this time. I can't respond to anyone in the chat for the last 30 minutes. I hope anybody who stuck around had a great time. I'm sorry that I missed you guys chat for the end, but thank you all for staying, hanging out, supporting Mountain Mick. Look forward and keep your eyes out for Mountain Mick popping up very soon to give the green light on the 250 sub giveaway, because we are less than 20 people from the 250 sub, and I will be giving the green light the moment I find out we hit 250. So that's all I got for you. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me on another Impromptu Live. I will be loading this one up and saving it to the permanent files of Mountain Mick because it went well. And last night was just a little different, and I accidentally deleted it, to be honest with you. I didn't mean to do it, but this one will be uploaded later for anybody who missed it. Thanks to everybody who came through, and to my new friends, Jacob and my new friend Labs. Thank you guys both for subbing me, and I will be continuing to send some love to you. That was in the chat earlier. Definitely get over there and check out Seahorn. I'm not remembering it off the top of my head, but he's in the chat, and I mentioned it earlier in the video, so you can find it. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Mountain Mick loves you. Have a great night. Safely enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Maybe I'll speak with you again before your holiday is over with. Just make sure you watch out for drunk drivers and stuff, guys. And definitely watch out for law enforcement as well, because you know in America how the holiday weekends can be. And traffic as well. So, without further ado, I am out of here. Love you guys. Until next time, happy picking.